Hey, Hook, welcome in. Hey, Mari. Hey, Lugia. Yeah, sorry, it hit me all of a sudden. I had too much tea, too much liquid. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to pee during the stream otherwise, so kind of figured it'd be a smart idea just to get that out of the way right now. Yeah, so YouTube's been interesting. Not that I've been worried too much about it myself because, like, I haven't even been uploading. But apparently everybody's freaking out because YouTube views are down. Apparently, like, everybody. Like, nobody's got the views they used to have. I don't know. At this point, I'm not too worried about it because it's like, it's going to be what it's going to be. I think for most people, we're going to be going through this lull and then everything will go right back to normal. So, if you shook it more than once, you're playing with it. But if you didn't, it might look like you were. Hey, DB, it doesn't matter what it looks like because I'm in the bathroom by myself, man. I'm not one of those people who pees with the door open. I also don't invite people into the bathroom with me. So, Rumble's taking off, is it? Is it though? I feel like Rumble is 99% bots. And here's the thing. I am all, like, guys, honestly, I am all behind Rumble. I support them. I've thought about paying for Rumble Premium. I've thought about using Rumble Studio. It's just not where it needs to be yet. But at the same time, it's like Rumble, unfortunately, they're just not there yet, you know? I wish they were. I really do. I think that there's a lot of potential there. I mean, I put all my videos on Rumble. I live stream to Rumble. I mean, I'm always doing all three. But I like to stand as far away from the toilet and challenge myself. Oh my god. Bet you Mr. Beast's views is the same. Are we talking about... Oh yeah, no. So the big YouTubers. Okay, so I should take that back. Channels over a certain size, I don't think I've seen a noticeable difference. I know people said Jacksepticeye was complaining about it and a few other like mega YouTubers. But from what I've noticed, I've been looking at it and I pay attention to like views on videos and stuff because I've been doing this for a while. And so when I notice people who I've been in the same realm as, or people who I've been watching for a long time, and I'm looking at the views on their videos going, 3 months ago they had 10,000 views per video, now they're at 4. That's a problem, you know? Rumble growing because Nick Fuentes? Maybe. Is he on Rumble? I assumed he was on his own site and that was pretty much it. I don't know where he's even on. Not a huge Nick Fuentes fan, to be honest. But that's neither here nor there. And it's not like I'm, you know, beyond offended by him. I just don't personally care for his content. That's about it. Anyways, guys, let me get this switched over to... I guess we'll switch to the intermission screen for a second. Hang on here while I get my shit sorted out. People who get banned on YouTube are moving to Rumble. It's spurring heavy growth. Oh, so he is on Rumble. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would rather somebody go to Rumble than Kick. My God, Kick is like an absolute dumpster fire. And I'll complain about Rumble having issues with bots, with discoverability, all that kind of crap. But Kick is worse. Kick is like, unless you are viewbotting or one of the top people that they've given a contract to, nobody on Kick is going to see you. It's depressing. It's miserable. It's awful. Rumble's growing because it's being promoted by creators here on YouTube due to the shenanigans going on. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. And I don't do a good enough job saying, oh, by the way, guys, I'm on Rumble. I stream on Rumble. I put my videos on Rumble. But, you know, I've always got it linked down below. I've always got my... I always upload everywhere. I used to upload to Odyssey too, but that got to be too big of a pain in the ass. I was uploading to Odyssey, to minds.com. I still upload to BitChute. So the 3 or 4 places I upload to are YouTube, Rumble, BitChute. I have an Instagram where I'd upload like all my videos and occasionally like my shorts and reels and stuff, but just haven't been doing it lately. Instagram sucks, so I haven't even bothered. YouTube is ending itself. It's not being killed. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Before we start talking about other stuff not related to YouTube, I was floating these ideas because my oldest son, he's asking me about it because, you know, he's been uploading shorts and he's been uploading videos of him and his brother and sister playing video games and stuff. And so he was asking me about it. He's like, hey, Dad, our last video only got like 8 views and it's been a whole day. Like, what's going on? Is it time of day? Is it... what we're doing? I'm like, no, it's not just you guys. It's everybody on YouTube. And I tried to explain to him, I'm like, look, here's the thing. I used to upload all my videos the night before. I'd upload my videos in the evening. Sometimes it'd be members only and go live in the morning. Sometimes I would just straight upload it at 10 o'clock at night and let it be. And I never noticed a significant difference between viewership for a video, whether I uploaded it in the evening or in the morning. In fact, most of the time, if I uploaded in the middle of the night when nobody was awake, it would do better long term for views because for whatever reason, after about 6 hours of only having a few hundred views, the views would massively jump up in the morning and then carry throughout the rest of the day. So I told him, I'm like, there's a lot of shit going on with YouTube, but I'm wondering how much of this is YouTube, because I've noticed this on the back end of things. YouTube is erasing views in real time. My last video covering the whole marathon playtesting situation got to about 500 visible views that I could see on the counter. Over the past 4 days, I have watched it drop below 500, go back up to 500, drop below 500 again. So they are continuously erasing views off the videos. Now, whether that's YouTube intentionally doing it, whether that's some sort of automated system where, again, they've changed the criteria for what counts as a view, right? They want people to be interacting, sharing, subscribing, liking, all those things, commenting, right? So do you think it's because the midterm's coming up? I don't know. You know, Lugia, my channel started to hit a brick wall during the election, and everyone's like, oh no, October election season is the best time for YouTube because the ad revenue and all this stuff. Great, cool, awesome. My channel like skyrocketed last year, and then once I hit 10,000 subs, dead, flatlined. So again, I don't know what other factors outside of YouTube killing itself is really going to be causing this to be an issue. But what I will say is, my concern is that either YouTube had view botting going on the platform because they wanted to make it look like they had more viewers for the investors for, you know, Alphabet, or they are trying to pay creators less and therefore scrubbing views. One way or the other, there's some weird shit going on. And unfortunately, yeah, I don't know that YouTube is going to survive it, to be honest. I mean, yeah, when are midterms? Are there midterms coming up? I haven't been paying attention to politics at all, guys. Like, legit, other than the day in, day out, is there an Epstein list? Is there not an Epstein list? Who are we mad at now? As far as, like, actual election cycles go, I haven't been paying attention. So, speaking of YouTube and Google and all that, approximately 3 to 3.7 million videos uploaded to YouTube every day, representing over 500,000 hours of new content. So there are other things, even more things. It's complicated. Yeah, no, Matt Adam, that's the thing. It's like, for a lot of people, I would say that there are a lot more YouTubers now than there were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even, you know, a year ago. But what I will say is that it's not just the influx of new people on the platform. There is also the reality that there's a lot of AI slop content. And I'm not saying AI slop as in like, so for example, DB Wild, he does like the AI music and stuff. I'm talking straight up the AI garbage videos of just random AI shit that people have been uploading to YouTube. And I think it might be clogging the algorithm. I don't know. I have no idea what could be causing it. But no, you're right, Matt Adam. I don't, like I've said before, this last week have been back in a rhythm where I'm actually watching videos. Words of Paradise, he streams a lot during the day and during work. I've been actually jumping into his stream and chatting and watching his streams and stuff. I go through cycles where I'm not a big viewer. Like, for example, I'll be listening to music during the day, and then some weeks I want to watch videos or watch a live stream. And I know that people are going to be in the same cycle as I am. There's going to be people who have different things come up and they're just not in the mood. They don't want to hear about it. Music's AI videos are self-made. Sure. Yeah, and DB, I wanted to differentiate because I didn't want to get you, when I say AI slop, I'm not talking about channels like yours. I'm talking straight up the garbage that you see on Instagram Reels and Facebook and Twitter. Like the actual slop. The Chumply Buckets will start campaigning within a month or two. Yeah, no, the thing is, campaign season is like, what, a year? A little over a year? It's crazy. So going talking about Google, talking about YouTube. Unironically, I actually didn't mean to talk about this. Can you send me videos to watch? No. Oh my God. I've got a whole list of tabs brought up here for stuff that we can cover. I don't think I need any videos to watch. I think we're good. So speaking of Google and YouTube, I know I slop when I see it, and that seems to be most promoted lately. Yeah, it's becoming a problem for a lot of people. Apparently, and this is according to PC Gamer, Google now lets you choose who your trusted gaming news outlet is. Here's how to support PC Gamer and other human-made content. Here's the funniest thing is we have seen so many terrible takes from sites like PC Gamer. So it's really funny that they're over here saying, oh yeah, you know, and you can now basically create an echo chamber, if you will, of your Google results. So it's bad enough that Google already censors things that you don't want them to censor or suppresses information that should be easily accessible. Now they're saying, here's a way that you can actually insulate yourself further into your own echo chamber, where this is the only place you're going to get news from when you put in a Google search, right? It's crazy. So apparently this is now a thing. And yeah, they're getting roasted, rightfully so. Decembro says, the only reason to greenlight your outlet is to laugh and make content out of the garbage you put out, which is exactly what we're doing right now. Don't trust PC Gamer. They have a political bias. I mean, yeah, politically correct gamer. I'm not even following you guys, yet I have your sludge in my feed every day. Yeah. Now, I think most people agree with that. So getting back to some of these studios that are having a rough time. I don't know if you guys remember this one, Bend Studio. One of these PlayStation acquisitions that I guess was supposed to be coming out with a new game, and they already scrapped it, laid off about, 30% of the workforce, is now moving forward with another multiplayer game for PlayStation. Now, I brought it up on Twitter that I don't understand what PlayStation is so obsessed with the live service model, and people are like, well, it's multiplayer. It doesn't mean it's going to be live service. I'm like, guys, PlayStation's not giving up the live service model. If it says PlayStation and multiplayer in the same sentence, it's going to be live service. They make too much money off microtransactions to not, you know? Speak of the devil. We've got one chatter on Kick, and it's more view botting. I swear to God, guys, I'm at the point where I'm thinking of just nuking my Kick account. Not Twitch. I know Mahendra, he would be super happy if I got rid of my Twitch account. But the thing about Twitch is I don't get nearly the amount of bots and spam on Twitch that I get on Kick. Most of what I get on Twitch is people trying to sell me like Fiverr art and stuff. But at least with Twitch, it's not as bad. Size shoes. Oh my God. KH, what do you want? You're the same person that emailed me that list of questions why you've never explained you needed to know the answer to, came in here and spammed him in the chat on the last stream, and now you're asking questions like this. Ben made Days Gone. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, Ben was one of those studios that a lot of people were hoping was going to churn out a sequel to Days Gone. People love Days Gone. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case. Now they're working on some sort of multiplayer game, and of course, it's probably going to end up being live service crap that's going to get canceled, I'm sure. It says that we are seeking an experienced and visionary creative director to help lead a project currently in development. The role is responsible for driving the decisions that set the creative vision, quality bar, and emotional tone of the game. In this capacity, you will serve to keep the team informed, aligned, motivated, inspired, and engaged. Shoe doxer. No, I don't understand the freaking questions, KH. I don't understand it. I don't get it. You asked my opinion on a bunch of crazy off-the-wall things that were not related to the topic at hand, and now you're back asking a bunch of retarded questions. I don't understand. Shoe size can correlate to dingle size. That might be the answer they're looking for. Could be. They're still looking for a cash cow. FBI's weirdest agent. That could be. That could be. Speaking of failed games and studios that are probably shutting down, mindseye flopped so badly that its publisher is questioning if it should publish games ever again. Not what IO Interactive hoped for. The funny thing is IO Interactive is the publisher, if I'm not mistaken, for the upcoming James Bond game. They also publish the Hitman games, if I'm not mistaken, right? Build a Rocket Boy is the developer behind mindseye, but the colossal PS5 flop might never have made it to market without its publishing partner Hitman and 007 First Light Team IO Interactive. Why am I assuming you have ulterior motives? Because you didn't introduce yourself. You didn't explain why you needed to know the answers. You came into chat, spammed a bunch of them. When I answered them honestly, you started hitting me with hypotheticals, and now you're asking my shoe size. I mean, come on, dude. It's freaking weird, okay? That's why. Mindseye was the first game published by the studio that did not make itself, and it's done so badly that IO Interactive is questioning whether it should ever try again. Now, the answer to that is no. After Mindseye, please, God, no. Another money black hole, yeah. The 007 thing is weird, because a lot of people were... I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people excited for the game. But at the same time, people are pointing out that all the women in the game are just kind of bland looking. And it's not just bland. It's like, this is James Bond, okay? If you go back and watch the Sean Connery James Bond movies, the Timothy Dalton James Bond, all the way up to like the, God, what's his face? The one I don't like very much. GoldenEye. Pierce Brosnan. All those James Bond movies are full of hot women, and he's like seducing them the entire time, and it's all about sex and gadgets and guns. It's cool, right? GTA is what? Oh, we'll get to it, don't worry. We'll get to GTA. But then the current cast of female characters on the game all just kind of look like, what the hell, like meh. Like at this point now, it's so hard to look at a game like that and not think that they've done it for ideological purposes, because of the fact that we've seen it over and over and over again. Not a dude, you misgendered me. Okay. I'm sorry, don't care. James Bond is known for its hot women after all. Yeah, exactly. You transitioned? Oh boy. Next 007 will be a black disabled lesbian. Sure, why not? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to DEI. Company got on board with Build a Rocket Boy prior to release in order to support the debut studio. It saw the potential of great ideas and a great world in the background, so it wanted to help distribute the game, according to IO Interactive CEO Hakan Abrick. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Build a Rocket Boy talked a big game in the lead up to release, promising an experience that revolutionizes gaming. Oh my god, they did not deliver on that. With cinematic brilliance, an innovative game creation system, and a constant stream of fresh premium content. The end result was a monumental failure with an overall Metacritic score of 37. The experience has clearly impacted the future of IO Interactive's publishing arm, as when he was asked if the firm will continue to distribute games alongside its own internally developed ones, Abrick simply said it remains to be seen. Yeah, that'll tick a lot of boxes for sure. So yeah, I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse for them. And what do we have here? Oh, here's a good one. I'm sure you guys all saw this Civilization 7 game that got completely destroyed, right? Yeah, you know, DB, that actually wouldn't be a bad idea. Thanks, buddy. I'll take care of that in a minute. But yes, the Civilization 7 game that has the Underground Railroad gal, what was her name? Harriet Tubman. Highly fictionalized, highly romanticized in terms of her actual real life skills and developments. Where she could be a world leader alongside Gandhi and the rest of them, right? Apparently, the game studio 2K has confirmed layoffs at Firaxis following the reception of their game. Do I have alerts muted again? I do. Man, Luigi, I suck. I'm sorry, dude. Let's hit the replay on this guy.
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
The new 007 game is not 007. The game feels more like Splinter Cell or cheap version of Hitman.
Yeah, you know, the thing about it is, and thanks for the 5, Luigi, I appreciate you, dude. I feel very much the same. I was watching the gameplay of it, and some of it was a little over the top. Some of it was like, okay, it's James Bond. There's going to be crazy explosions and death-defying, you know, non-possible human feats of strength and agility and all that. But the crazy part about it was the actual combat itself. It didn't look like James Bond. You know, James Bond, sure, there's been different versions of him, some that are more finesse and some that are going to muscle their way through things a little bit more. It just felt like a different game wearing a James Bond skin suit. So yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail right on the head there. Who cares if the game has Harriet Tubman? They made Gandhi a leader. Mechanics are shit. Once again, it's a red flag. Yeah. Oh no, the Black Anglo-Saxons in on the BBC show. No, this was the trailer. They did a little trailer for Civilization 7 before the game released, and of course it had like the the black chick with the face paint as the Mongolian leader. Harriet Tubman as a playable leader in the game. Yeah. Again, is it a problem that it's a black female? No, the problem is that it's Harriet Tubman, who in real life I believe was illiterate. So it's like she wouldn't probably make much of a world leader not being able to read and write. That would probably be a problem. So the studio Firaxis is undergoing layoffs as we speak. Go figure. But again, I want to be clear. The game had much, much bigger issues than Harriet Tubman. Apparently the game was a complete hot mess. All right, so here's a good one, guys. This is a good one. And I say good one because a lot of people are probably going to be rolling their eyes when they see it. And it's going to be one of those things where we all know when we see it, it's like, yeah, this is unfortunate. It is what it is. But a lot of people have been very critical of this series. Because Life is Strange, while some people say the first couple of entries were really good, it got to be known as the quote-unquote gay game, right? The gay series, if you will. Harriet Tubman had a modern-day level of literacy. Well, that doesn't mean much. First, clearly an addition for virtue signaling. It makes no sense to put Harriet Tubman as a leader. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to have her as the leader. Again, do I have a problem with a quote-unquote strong female leader in a game where it's fictional? Not really, but it's like, of all the people possible, it just seems like a weird choice, right? Very strange. Bio tapestry with the contemporary depiction of the Battle of Hastings doesn't contain even one non-white figure. Yeah. Life is Strange TV show. YouTubers are about to get paid. You would think, provided, you know, this situation kind of gets resolved. But unfortunately, it's one of those things where we just don't quite know how things are going to go. Nothing I enjoy more than revisionist history, working itself into video games that are supposed to be based on reality to some degree. Doing so in video games is a mean to trick the youths. Yeah. So it has been announced for Prime Video. So take that for what it is. Amazon's had as many good shows as it has stinkers. In fact, it might have more stinkers than decent ones. I'm not even going to touch that one, Hook. The worst BLM move was to have cops wear body cams. You're not wrong there, Joe, although I think YouTube censored your comment there. So it says, the Life is Strange world is finally coming to TV with the help of Prime Video. Released in 2015, Life is Strange has charmed players with spectacular storytelling and meaningful themes. Bringing the IP to Hollywood has been a long road with multiple people attached. At one time, it was at Legendary, which had Street Fighter prior to Paramount. Now, Prime Video has secured the title and even brought on a showrunner. Shocked it took this long. Funny thing is, the last game was so bad the studio got gutted. Yeah. No, actually, I was just thinking about it because I was talking to the developer I knew over at Deck 9. And I thought about him the other day. I checked in on him. I'm like, hey, man, how are things going? Like, did you land on your feet? And he said he's doing some freelance stuff right now. He hasn't found an actual studio to call home yet. But I feel bad for the guy because he was super helpful in kind of giving me an idea of what was going on behind the scenes. And he, for all intents and purposes, is a really, really good dude. And he tried to stick it out as much as he could, but unfortunately, there was nothing else he could do, you know? Why did it auto-mod that comment? That's a good question. So, the end of the effing world's Charlie Covell to write Prime Video's Life is Strange. I don't know what the end of the effing world is. I've never seen this show. I've never even heard about it, so be very curious to see what else he's done. Says in an exclusive article from Variety, Prime Video announced that Life is Strange has been greenlit for a television show. The show will be produced by Story Kitchen and Lucky Chap alongside Amazon MGM Studios. Furthermore, Charlie Covell has signed on to write, executive produce, and showrun the project. The director, known for his Netflix show The End of the Effing World in Chaos, spelled K-A-O-S, no idea, spoke on the matter to Variety. Wish I could find some work, permanent or contracted. Yeah, I mean, it's tough out there for a lot of people. It's tough. It's a huge honor to be adapting Life is Strange for Amazon MGM Studios, Cavell stated to Variety. I'm a massive fan of the game. Well, that could be a red flag. Which game is he a massive fan of? Again, I've heard the first couple games are good. It's the later entries that were definitely a problem. Again, I'm sure that the game's always had some sort of like, gay or woke elements to them or whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, this could just be really, really, really bad depending on what they focus on. I'm thrilled to be working with the incredible teams at Square Enix, Story Kitchen, and Lucky Chap. I can't wait to share Max and Chloe's story with fellow players and new audiences alike. The log line for the show has also been shared with the outlet. Fortunately for fans, the show plans to adapt to the first game in the series with Max and Chloe at the helm. Synopsis can be found below. Story follows Max, a photography student who discovers she can rewind time while saving the life of her childhood best friend Chloe. As she struggles to understand this new skill, the pair investigate the mysterious disappearance of a fellow student, uncovering a dark side to their town that will ultimately force them to make an impossible life or death choice that will impact them forever. I mean, if he is a massive fan, I guess they would at least make at least justice to the game. I know to stop at the first season. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the first season or the show at least is going to focus on the first game. But if it goes well, here's the problem. This is Amazon. This is, these streaming services. If it goes well, they're going to continue and they're going to follow the rest of the games. And it's going to be like The Last of Us 1 and 2, where the show did well the first season. They should have just ended it right there and not followed the second game. And instead they followed the second game. And you guys have all seen Bella Ramsey was like already coming out saying, well, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. Life is Strange is just the old show True Calling. Kind of from what I gather from what I know of the games. Amazon, we get Reacher, then dog shit like Wheel of Time or Rings of Power. Oh god, Rings of Power is so bad. I saw that Rings of Power, apparently season 3 has a delay, so my life isn't over quite yet. Hopefully you don't work in a field they're bringing in infinite Indians to replace Americans on. Dude, you're preaching to the choir here. I'm so sick and tired of all this shit. Oh my god. And then all those conservative influencers who got exposed for taking money to like shill for India the last couple days. It's crazy, man. No further details like production start or additional crew are available at this time. Still, given the almost decade-long wait for an adaptation, this is a refreshing start. Quick answer, I'm surprised you know True Calling. I watched True Calling back in the day. I watched some episodes and I know of the show. They need to delay it eternally. Yeah. Vote them in 2026. I don't even know if I want to vote in 2026, man. IT work. Damn, that's going to be rough. Although I don't know if you saw whether or not this is actually going to happen. Trump supposedly is going to be banning a certain amount of IT work from India, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think you're going to see him go to prison in 2026, man. That seems far-fetched to me. Again, I'm not going to hold my breath. I mean, everyone's saying the world's going to end on September 23rd, so who knows? Maybe none of us will be here at that point. I don't know. I'd like to still be here, though. I'm not ready to call it quits yet. Now we got a new one. Paradox issues Bloodlines 2 refunds after backlash over paywalled clans. Time to see 60 Dems. Oof. I don't want to see, dude, can we just get rid of all politicians instead? I understand it's kind of like what the conservatives did over in the UK, where they had like the Zero Seats campaign a couple of years ago, where they wanted to have no Tories get elected because they wanted to send a message. And that happened. They had a lot less Tories, and then the Labour Party took over and things only got worse. So sure, if the plan is to make things as terrible as possible so that eventually people will snap out of it, they're on the right track. But unfortunately, I don't want to have to live through that. Yeah, I saw even Japan was having issues with like a massive amount of migration. One day before your birthday. Hey, September 24th, I gotta remember that. Don't let me forget 24th.
Are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you.
Prison, I mean, depends.
Please do not hate watch this show, especially the content creators. Don't give him any publicity.
Oh, we're talking about Life is Strange? No, I'm not going to watch Life is Strange. I'm not going to watch Life is Strange. The thing is, I didn't play the games. I have no desire to play the games. So for me, it's not like Rings of Power where I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I don't have to pay for another service. My wife wants to watch it because she knows I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I wanted to see how bad it was because I'm massively invested in Tolkien and the lore. Life is Strange, I'm not invested at all. Like, I think I own one of the games because I got it for free on GOG or Amazon or whatever. But I'm not going to watch the show because I just don't care. It's kind of like, you know, Kada, Khalil Too Short. He went and watched all the Ironheart episodes, and he made fantastic videos doing reviews on all of them. And his videos did great. They had massive viewership. He made really entertaining videos. It was a lot of fun, and none of us had to watch Ironheart to experience how bad it was for ourselves. So in that respect, I think you can justify it as long as everyone's watching the review of it and not the actual show, not paying for another service to have to watch it. For me, Life is Strange, I just have no reason to watch it because I'm not invested at all. I have nothing invested in it. I've never played the games. Other than the developer I know who formerly worked at Deck 9, I've never communicated or interacted with any of the media attached to the game. So, hey, Quill Pig. And thanks for the 5, Luigi. I appreciate you, dude. You're freaking awesome, man. But remember, you don't have to super chat for me to comment, dude. I tend to reply, unless you're being weird like KH was. I'll always try to read the chats. Desire to be a politician should bar you from life ever becoming one. Don't vote and just encourages them. Dude, I'm starting to feel that way. But Mari, I think the prison comment is due to the fact that unfortunately, a lot of us have been kind of black-pilled, burned a little bit by the way the administration has handled all of the Epstein stuff. Yeah. No, Quillpig, we're not actually going to get into any spoilers. We've not talked about Silksong yet. We're not going to cover anything that would spoil the game for you. So you're good. So you can hang for the Silksong stuff, or you don't if you don't want to, but we're not going to do any spoilers. I'm going to play the game though. I was thinking about maybe, if we get wrapped up with the chatting section, all the news and all that, I could give it a go for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. We'll see though. Emotional breakdowns, the lore and character breakdowns. Just love to watch those breakdowns, yeah. All right, so Paradox issues Bloodlines 2 refunds after backlash over paywalled clans. So if you guys remember, we've been seeing the trailers and the announcements about Bloodlines 2, and they've done this thing where you can't pick all the clans to begin with to choose, you know, your backstory and all that stuff because they paywalled 2 of them. And this is unfortunately the nature of these early access or pre-ordered games, is they've kind of figured out that people are going to be willing to give them their money ahead of time. So they don't even have to have everything available at launch. It's why people are being treated as beta testers with early access. And it's unfortunate because it's also encouraging this kind of predatory behavior where from the get-go you have things that are paywalled if you want the full game experience, you know? It's like what we saw with Borderlands where they've had like the $90 version, the $110 version, the $70 version. The thing about it is, and this is where microtransactions really come into play, 50% of the North American game revenue comes from microtransactions because people have FOMO. It's not just games like Apex Legends and Marvel Rivals and stuff. People have legitimate FOMO when they buy a version of a game where they feel like, well, I'm going to want the deluxe edition because I want to have this better skin or this experience booster or whatever the reason is. It's a scam. Do you have to pay for me to answer questions? No, KH, you just have to ask normal questions. He pardoned his brother-in-law, then ordered to let the Israeli jump. Pardoned his brother-in-law. I didn't see that one. I'll have to take a look at that. Paradox is the DLC company. Yeah, it's starting to look that way. Paywalled clan. Oh, Black Cat, you haven't seen this? Yeah, no, they paywalled, I think, 2 of these starting clans. So I think there's a total of 5, and 2 of them are paywalled, or 7 and 2. I can't remember how many are, but it's crazy. Funny thing is, the clans don't really matter. People are going to be pissed. Yeah. Let's see here. Worse is when people don't understand how stupid it is. I got a few friends who pre-order digital and don't understand how stupid it is as much as you can explain. Yeah. Hey, Patriot. Even Bloodlines, the first one had 7 of the 13 core clans. Bloodlines 2 is only allowing 5 and 2 that were DLC. There we go. That's what it was. Yeah. So 5 total. and 2 of them were locked behind a paywall. So they put out this statement, and that's not even talking about how ugly some of the characters were. Like the main female protagonist, because I guess there's a male and a female, and you can't create your own character, so they are automatically, you're losing some RPG elements there as it is. They put out this statement and said, "Hi, we're making adjustments and we'll share the details on September 17th. Big changes take time and we want to do this right. PlayStation Store pre-orders will be refunded on September 8th. You'll be able to pre-order again before launch on October 21st. Thanks for your patience. We'll share more soon." The crazy part is I saw this comment here, this top comment, and people are already doing the gaslighting for them. Person says, "At this point, I wish you guys just wouldn't release it at all." And of course, you have people like, they should just release it as a not Bloodlines title, give a company that cares about Bloodlines 1 a chance, sure. Hard disagree, been waiting 20 years for this game. Yes, but it looks nothing like the original game. Care to explain why? So a solution to your request, don't buy it, shut up, are you retarded? Exits that way. Again, you're going to have a lot of people who are doing their best to carry water for this game. Another person says, "Can I play as a woman finally? Half the vampire fantasy is being a beautiful woman who seduces men into dark alleys to kill them." That's very true. I mean, even if you go back to like the interview of the vampire movie, all the guys were like beautiful men. You had freaking, Brad Pitt was in that one, Antonio Banderas, Christian Slater back in the day, all good looking guys, right? What do you mean finally? You've always been able to play as a male or female in the OG game and in the upcoming sequel. That's never not been an option in this franchise. I've seen the quote female option, that's not a woman. That's a slightly feminine man. Ignoring the obvious low IQ take, you can change the hairstyle. It doesn't have to be short. Says, "No, I like short hair. It's the facial structure." Well, sorry to disappoint, but they're not going to alter the structure of the base character model in 2 months. They could. It actually wouldn't be that hard. That would be functionally impossible. Also, hard disagree. If anything, the male-based character leans more feminine than the female one does masculine. Says, "I just want to be a sexy female or femme fatale, dressed like I walked out of a 2008 Hot Topic as White Wolf intended." Not going to happen. Isn't the R word a slur? No, but it's, if you want to say it's a slur, that you can more than happily call it a slur. I don't think it's a slur. What is the line off The Office? You don't call a retarded person retarded. It's bad taste. You call your friends retarded when they're being stupid. Yeah, so. If you call a mentally deficient person retarded, maybe. Western culture vampires are seductive creatures. Even the pseudo-savage ones are. OG culture vampires are monsters through and through. Right, no, but we're talking Western culture. Look, I would love nothing more, and I was a big fan of Underworld. I love the Underworld movies. The first couple movies were pretty good. First one was great. Second one was okay. I would love nothing more to have more of like a mythological medieval vampire movie. I've got all these great ideas in my head. I would never be able to find the time to create a script, a storyline, storyboard it, put it all together, and make a functioning movie out of it. I just don't have the time, the skill set, the inclination, none of that. Be a normal weirdo. Pit Crew. Oh, Tom Cruise. Yeah, Slater. Well, the thing is, he became a Slater. He became a vampire at the end of the movie. Although, I don't know if they alluded to him possibly becoming a vampire. Likely among the mentally deficient. Patriot, he could be a troll or he could be genuine. I don't care. Or I'm sorry. He said he transitioned, so I'm misgendering him now, and I'm saying the R slur. You know, here's the thing, KH. If you're just having fun, have fun. I don't care. I'm not going to ban you. But there are far more offensive channels that you can find on YouTube. So be offended. Don't be offended. Have fun. I don't care. Don Walker, hope till then, UE5 is only going to get better. So, I mean, a lot of people are saying it's not UE5. It's the people who don't know how to use it. Who was it? Was it one of the dudes from Battlefield? I can't remember one of the recent developers that came out and said, the problem isn't Unreal Engine 5, it's that people don't know how to use it. And I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. I have no idea if that's a legitimate take or not. Personal favorite representation of vampires in somewhat modernist films is John Carpenter's Vampires. I didn't love the film. I remember I watched it a couple times. I own it on DVD. Not a bad film as far as vampires go. For me, I don't know. I feel like I'm too much of a normie when it comes to like films like that. For example, I hated From Dusk Till Dawn. As movies go, I genuinely hated that movie, but I'm also not a big Quentin Tarantino fan. So that could be why. Oh, the head of Epic is the one that said that. Interesting. Okay. So that was the... What's his face? God, I can't remember his name. Even the bodies look awful? Yeah. No, that's for sure. Yeah, the default face mesh thing. I remember that's been a thing for a while. So that being said, you've got people gaslighting them saying, oh no, there's nothing wrong with the face, it's you. Don't trust your lying eyes, right? It's true about not knowing how to use Unreal Engine, similar to how it is that anyone can use AI to make a picture, but one has to know in and out how to make art. But now you're talking about, is AI art actually art? And that's a whole separate topic. Like, that's a whole separate conversation, different rabbit hole we could go down. Skill issue and the engine with Unreal both can be true. Agreed, 100%. UE5 has problems for sure. Keeps happening. But some other devs at least try, yeah. It takes one dev a few hours to modify that to look pretty, right? I remember watching the video from that gal that was working on Unreal Engine 5, talking about how she had to import her own face meshes to make the female character look female. I'm gonna get a bottle of water. Give me 1 sec, guys. Hey, good morning, Mahendra. Oh. Indeed, monkeys can use keyboards, yes. Yes, they can. All right, so here's a good one. Steven Spielberg recently wanted to direct the Call of Duty movie. Says he's a huge gamer and plays Call of Duty. Now, this is a weird one. I never in a million years would have thought that Steven Spielberg, A, was a gamer, and B, was a Call of Duty fan. Weirdest thing. Just going over some of the recent news, some layoffs, shutdowns, Life is Strange movie. Oh, Mahendra, you'll be interested in that. Amazon's making a Life is Strange TV show, live action. So that'll be interesting. Hey, Vernum, good morning to you as well. Pretending, yeah. Interview with the Vampire is actually the healthiest media to discuss. No, we're... Cool, Pig, I'm going to ban you for saying that, man. Don't bring up that stuff. I don't want to get into this argument with Patriot and Mahendra about all this lolly stuff. I don't want to go there. Please, no. Like, never... In the couple of times I watched that movie, never did it go through my brain that the female vampire who is stuck as a child might be objectified by the grown-up, vampires. Because... And the way I viewed it, she never mentally grew up. The character, sure, the vampire aged and was stuck in the body of a child, but I never viewed her as actually maturing to the point that she would in actual adult maturity. Yeah, Life is Strange game's already good enough to be a TV show, right? Old Call of Duty or modern Call of Duty, who knows? How do I feel about the recent deportations? I feel like there's not enough of them. I mean, Patriot, if we're being honest... When it came to deportations, we were promised, they're all going back. And then quickly it turned into, yeah, that was a lie. Where you can't outcome an Amazon Prime show. Well, the thing is, I was telling my wife about this because we have this discussion about them making an Expedition 33 movie, which I guess is already in the works. They're working on finding a cast and crew for that. And so I imagine... The movie for Expedition 33 will probably come out in 2027, maybe 2028 if they get pushed back at all. Expedition 33 is a game that already has so many cutscenes and so many dialogue, scenes and options. Why would you try? I mean, I'm gonna watch it obviously because I love the game, and if they do it right, it should be fantastic as a movie. But the game is already half movie. There's so much there, 4,000-year-old dragon. What are we talking about? Oh, I don't want to go there. No. It was in the movie. That's the reason she betrayed them, was because of them rejecting her because she was a vampire child. Well, but you could also argue that her betraying them was a childish thing to do. I don't remember the entire story. I don't remember why they turned their back on her or betrayed her or whatever. But I'm just saying, it's very much that she didn't mature. Who knows? Hence the curse of immortality. If turned as a child, no matter how old you get, you're always viewed as a child, right? Why Call of Duty? I don't know. It's for the normies, not the gamers. Sure, I mean, I guess that makes sense, kind of like anything else would. I mean, Fallout, the Fallout TV show, I thought was okay. I thought it was decent. I enjoyed parts of it. And I didn't play Fallout. So for me, I can understand it from that perspective, I guess. It didn't make me rush out and go play a Fallout game. Part of that, though, is the fact that I don't have time to just play infinite numbers of games. Same when people say, make Red Dead movie, F no, play the game. The game has too much. Yeah, I can't even imagine. At that point, aren't you just playing a Western? Like, let me ask a question. Because I'm going to approach this completely as a fake gamer, as never having played Red Dead Redemption. Is it a create your own character, or is it a character that has a fixed storyline with branching options like your typical action RPG? Because if it's a create your own character, you could legitimately just make any Western film, any Western, any cowboys and guns and Indians and cowboys film, and it would be Red Dead Redemption, right? So if you're a vampire, you don't even desire sex. See, that's something I was not aware of in vampire lore, is that they don't actually have that function anymore. That's interesting. You're playing a character, you just choose his body. Okay. So it's like basically the whole Ivor being a girl or a boy on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Interesting. Fixed storylines of branching. All right. I love outing myself as a fake gamer to you guys. Yeah, Call of Duty, that's a weird one. So he says Steven Spielberg pitched his vision to Activision. That's interesting phrasing. Wanted a final cut and full control over production. Activision got spooked and then sold the rights to Paramount, where they'd have more control over the process. Now, this I assume is rumor, because via Puck News here, people are requesting a community note, and there's a Puck.news letter thing here. I assume that this is one of those, this is a rumor, it hasn't been confirmed yet kind of situations. Rumor or not, I find it interesting because my wife is like, well, Steven Spielberg, what has he done that's really worth talking about in the last few years? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. If you make Call of Duty the movie and you attach a name like Spielberg to it, that's instant success, It's going to bomb and be awful. Probably, David. Probably will. Oh, he's always male because he's a guy. Okay. So there's no swapping the male for female. Interesting. It's rather like GTA San Andreas. Okay, where some things can alter your character. I got you. So, of course, Legacy Killa says, a cinematic mastermind wanted to make a Call of Duty movie, and Activision got, quote, spooked because they're allergic to talent. Quote, sorry, it has us deeply concerned about handing over our franchise to the guy behind Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan, and the creator of the Medal of Honor games. I didn't realize that he actually was one of the creators of the Medal of Honor games. Medal of Honor games, first couple games slapped. Love those games. Literal franchise that inspired the creation of Call of Duty. Scary idea. Is Michael Bay available? Spielberg was once good, but it's been a while. Yeah, drop of water. It's kind of what I feel about it. He might have been retired, H. Brown. I don't know. He might be. He might not be. I can't think of anything he's made in the last few years. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is an adaptation from NFS Carbon. Oh, interesting. His latest movie that came out was Ready Player One. Oh, dude, I've been wanting to watch that movie. I've been thinking about that film off and on for the last couple of years. Like when I finally have a movie night, I need to sit down and watch that one. Although I was thinking about tomorrow night showing the kids Jurassic Park, because that's a film that I still remember the first time I saw it. And, I was probably about my oldest kid's age, 12, 13 years old. And, it's creepy at first, but once you have that initial fear of like the velociraptors eating you in your sleep, kind of you wear off, that wears off. I mean, hell, my kids have seen Five Nights at Freddy's, and I think that movie was far creepier than Jurassic Park. So I think they'll be okay. But here we go. I think H. Brown asked about this. From PC Gamer, God help us all. GTA 6 may be a quintuple A game, says Devolver co-founder, and that's why the entire industry is taking cover from it like it's a nuclear blast. So this will more or less tie into our conversation about Hollow Knight Silksong, because of the fact that people are comparing the two games, saying that Silksong is like the GTA 6 of indie titles. Ready Player One was an okay book, not a good movie. Terrible audiobook. Will Wheaton. God. Good media references in the book, though. I kind of feel like Ready Player One was basically like what they were trying to do with Concord, right? Like, was it Concord that I'm thinking of? Maybe it was something else. Oh, no, not Concord. The Amazon show, where they had Concord in an episode. What was the name of that show? Where they had every episode was going to be a different game. Can they please stop doing game to movie adaptations? They've ruined enough. Smeg, I feel ya. I say again, if they do it right, Expedition 33 should be a really good movie. And when I was telling my wife, because I'm all the way through Act 2 now, I'm into Act 3. So I'm just at the part where you have to go to Lumiere. But I was telling my wife the entire story up to that point, and she's like, that would make a great movie. I'm like, yeah, well, the thing is, the game is basically a movie with, the turn-based battle, interactive battles and stuff, which is great. Next level, thank you, DB. That's what it was. So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's one thing to be like, this game already has enough cutscenes, we don't need a movie, they're going to ruin it. And another thing to look at a game like that and go, if they do it right, it could be exceptional. It could truly be exceptional. The movie should be a prequel. So Mahendra, here's the thing. We talked about this on the last stream. What they're going to do with the Claire Obscure universe is they're going to make more games. Expedition 33 is just going to be one of the stories they tell. So in that, there's also room for other stories to be written in conjunction with that one game. So there's a whole different, they could expand on it, tremendously. So, because it considers spoil. Yeah, but by the time the movie gets made, it's going to be 2 years, 3 years after the game released. At that point, I feel like, it's really cool when people do a good job respecting spoilers. And I never, in the past 6 months, ran across a spoiler for Expedition 33, which is fantastic. I never ran across that on Twitter. I came close a couple times. People talk about, oh my God, the ending to Act 2 just blew my mind. And it's like, okay, don't say anything. But people were very respectful. So I think after a couple of years, spoilers no longer should apply. At that point, if you haven't gotten around to it yet, the risk is on yours, on you. It's the risk you take. After the paintress, the next villain's the guitarist. I feel like there's a joke in there somewhere. Next game we will play as the writers that burned down the painter's home. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I noticed they mentioned the writers or whatever. I'm like, that's interesting. So there's all these different godlike characters that are creating, I guess, weaving the stories and the tapestry of people's lives and stuff. It's hard to spoil it, twist the lot. Okay, well, Hook, if somebody had told me, the TLDR for the ending of Act 2, that would have ruined the entire game for me. So if the movie turns out terrible, you'll hesitate to touch the game. That's true, but I think, honestly, there's enough to work with there that the movie should be fantastic. And I'm not saying that I need the movie. I've played the game, but my wife isn't going to play the game. So I told her, I'm like, I could sit down and we could probably pull up all the cutscenes on YouTube and watch them all sequentially, and I could fill in the gaps, and that'd be like watching probably a 2.5 hour movie, If you're ahead in the game, you learn a few things, more of a reference. Okay. What is TLDR? Too long, didn't read. Patriot, you're showing your age there. I didn't know what TLDR was a couple years ago either. Now my children are all trying to fill me in on all these different expressions and all the lingo, and they're shocked when I know on God and cap and all that other crap. It's like, guys, I've been around, okay? Did you ever get into Pacific Drive? I did not. It's supposed to be loosely based around our geographical area and the PNW. Thought it was a pretty fun double A game. Oh yeah, Drop Water. I forgot that you're also a Washingtonian, or at least this part of the country. What the frig is on God? On God, it means no cap. It's for real. On God. You're swearing on, when saying swearing on a stack of Bibles. On God. So yeah, anyways. Quintuple A game, guys. Oh, no. People making up things. The aiming community. You want to talk about people making shit up? The aiming community. The movement community. These people, I swear to God, are driving me nuts. Because every other day I'm seeing somebody recycle that Riley CS dude's Battlefield clip. And they're talking about, oh yeah, you guys just don't understand the AIM community. It's like, we used to just call those gamers. Some gamers were better at, first-person shooters. Some gamers were better at third-person fantasy RPG games. Some guys were better at tactic games, strategy games. But this whole movement community, aim community, oh my god, it's like, oh, for real, dead ass, yeah. Is you doing the cat's cradle and chunk? Yeah. What's the aiming community? So Mari, the young ones, the Gen Zers, will say "on God" when they're telling the truth, like I swear to God, like they're totally telling truth. Exactly, yeah. If someone says "on God," they're probably lying. Yeah, exactly. Aiming community. Well, it's really funny because I feel like the whole I'm part of the aiming community, part of the movement community. It's their way of saying if I'm cheating, I have an excuse to make it look like I'm not cheating. Or it's another way of becoming a victimized, like a member of a victimized group, right? So saying like, oh no, I'm part of the AIM community. You just don't understand because you're just a normie gamer. Show your gameplay. So this dude, okay. Prime example. To Douglas County, interesting. Short game, pretty cool. I've heard of Pacific Drive. I just need to check it out. Yeah, I kind of, Douglas County. I think I know where that's at. We used to call crazy people crazy. No making up BS to excuse their nonsense. Yeah. AIM community is beyond cringe. It is so beyond cringe. Yeah, I used to have AIM. Well, we had the AOL disk to install into your computer, and then you'd have your AOL dial-up internet. Dude, it was fantastic back in the day. Your whole dial-up internet sound. Good times. So I have to tell you guys, the person that was saying this, somebody had shared something about the quote-unquote aiming community, and I'm like, dude, the aim community is like as gay and retarded as calling yourself transgender or furry or whatnot, right? And so somebody in the replies was like, well, why don't you show your clips to us, please? And I'm thinking to myself, first off, no, I'm almost 40. I'm what you would call a normie when it comes to gaming these days because I have a business. I have 3 children. My kids play sports. I have to take them to sports. I coach them. I have this. I have my other hobbies and other family things I have to deal with, and business and life and stress and occasionally getting to the gym and all these other things that matter far more than me proving to this person, this random user on Twitter, that my movement on Battlefield is equal to somebody who everyone assumes is hacking and cheating, right? Then I look at the person's profile on Twitter. I swear to God, again, on God, for real, no cap, guys, 17, transgender, lesbian, she, they, or whatever, and then a bunch of other random stuff. And I'm like, of course, somebody, quote unquote, defending the aiming community has to be one of these weirdos, these poor individuals who's not even, it's like, you're not even 18, get the hell off Twitter. Like, stay off social media until you're 21. But furthermore, it's like, holy shit. Is everybody in the quote-unquote aiming or movement community trans or LGBTQIA plus or something? I swear to God, I feel like it's people, there's something about games like Valorant, something about games that have like the fine-tuned, like super high precision, like these first-person shooters where it's not like Apex where it's like, oh, this crazy movement. It's the people that play Valorant and CSGO and stuff where it's like this super high precision type games where all of a sudden it's attracted this massive influx of transgenders, furries, whatnot. It's kind of like with Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight, for whatever reason, has always appealed to the gays and the transgender people. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but for some weird reason, there are certain games that just suck in that kind of crowd. So I saw that, I'm like, oh my God. So I'm not even going to respond. You're 17, you're a transgender lesbian, so you're straight with extra steps. Right there, I don't even want to talk to you. Like, I'm not even going to address it. I'm not going to talk to you. Whatever. 30% asleep. That's all good. No worry. I'm a cheater. Would just consider myself a gamer. Though I say, might call me a beater. What the hell? Are you rhyming now, man? Very center of Washington. Rural, cool, not too close to crazies or wildfires. Dude, that's the way to go. That is the way to go. Get off the phone. You disconnected me from the internet. Oh my God, that was truly the days. Holy crap. It's not about super high precision or anything. It's about the skins and loot boxes. I've played a little bit of like Valorant. A friend of mine, she downloaded it and wanted me to play with her because she doesn't play first-person shooters and I do. And I was okay at it. The thing is, you have to remember very little movement with the mouse. Like, you have to be very, very precise. Speedrunning makes you trans. You know, the funny thing about speedrunning, I was actually playing Mario Maker, Super Mario Maker 2 on Twitch about 4 years ago. And it was my game that got me the best viewership on Twitch. But because I was playing viewer levels. So people would send in a code and I'd play it until I beat it or I'd give up on it. And I got really good at speedrunning some of those levels. Like, there were some speedrunning levels in Mario Maker 2 that I legit would try for hours to beat. Claim your pre-op. It's just a trend. Every generation has them. Next new thing will overtake the current thing. That's how it's always been. Yeah. All right, Mahendra, take it easy. Dude was gathering titles like they're stones for Thanos. Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll prove it to me, losers. Yeah. No, here's the thing. Like, I can honestly say I have nothing to prove when it comes to gameplay to certain people. That's, you know, I have no qualms with it. It's like, there are certain games that I'm much better at than other games. My kids made me play Apex Legends after I got home from work tonight. And I was not the worst person out there, but by God, I cannot master the recoil on most of the weapons on that game. Not because I don't enjoy playing it, so I don't spend my free time playing it. But I could get better at it. But I'm not going to show my gameplay next to somebody else who has no life, no kids, is 17. Me at 17 playing Halo 2 would have beaten this kid playing the same game. But I'm not 17 anymore. You know? I don't have infinite hours to play games. So why the hell would I even bother trying to show gameplay to somebody who's 17 and doesn't even know what gender they are? Like, what's the point? Anyways, back to GTA 6000. To the T-Snake. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, double digits. I don't think so. That's, I'm the wrong ethnicity for that. All right. So it says, that's why the entire industry is taking cover from it like it's a nuclear blast, referring to GTA 6 being a quintuple A game. So here's the thing. I would love to love the WWE. I remember when we were growing up, we didn't pay for cable television and it was really hard to catch a match. And I enjoyed the idea of wrestling as a kid. And there were some of the wrestlers that you knew because you saw them in movies, like the Hulk Hogan, obviously. And then I got this WWE game on my GameCube, which was fantastic. I can't remember what the name of that game was, but I freaking loved that game. You could create your own character. They had Breaking Benjamin on the soundtrack. It was lit, right? As the cool kids used to say. But I've never really gotten heavily invested in the WWE to the point now where I just, frankly, just don't care. It doesn't bother me if people like WWE. In fact, there was that reality TV show a while back that Stone Cold Steve Austin was the host of, where they were looking for the next WWE star. My wife and I watched it for some stupid reason, and I thought the show was fine. I thought it was okay, you know? But yeah, I mean, I just personally don't really care about the WWE that much. Currently being forced to learn Titanfall 2. Oh, yes, since Xbox wouldn't let my buddy give me Helldivers. Dude, Cage, Titanfall 2 multiplayer. So freaking fantastic, man. Become your own worst enemy. Oh my God, DB, man. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Yeah, F me, a quintuple A game. For real. Showing the beard some love. I appreciate you, Cage. Double digits with a decimal. Oh my God. Titanfall 2 is so good. So freaking good. Is it really only me who doesn't give an F about GTA ever since that? Dude, honestly, I've never played a GTA game in my life. It used to be I grew up in that very puritanical household where I would never be allowed to play a game like this. Then I got to where I was old enough, living on my own, buying my own games, and I just never cared to get into it. Like, I played Max Payne. I've played some games with the same concept, you know, drive around, open world, you can do whatever you want to, and that's fine. I just never really got into GTA. Not something that I ever cared to pick up, you know? Let's see. Probably the mind virus will be taken over, and it might be a spectacular fall. Not necessarily a failure, but a massive drop in popularity. It probably will be. Although they're predicting that the game is going to make billions of dollars, right? Billions of dollars. I'm not going to say it's not. I just find it very strange. I asked ChatGPT to write me a sentence in Gen Z. This is what it said. Bet, no cap, that glow up was straight fire for real. You ate and left no crumbs. Vibes immaculate on God, dude. That is like cancer. That is like AIDS mixed with cancer. Holy crap, the movement in Titanfall is fast but dope. Dude, the wall running. Oh my God, okay. So when I first started playing Apex Legends, then I played Titanfall 2. I went back and played Titanfall 2 after playing Apex. When Apex first came out and it was fantastic, it's like 7 characters, the guns were good, everything felt good, and the maps were good. They didn't have the Fortnite crap in the game yet. Nobody cared about the character's sexuality. It was just a good game, right? Then I went and played Titanfall 2. I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Titanfall 2 is what inspired Apex Legends. Great. Then it started turning, like the wheels started turning in my head. I'm like, oh my God, Titanfall 3 could be incredible. It could be insane, right? So anytime that the conversation has come out that there could be a Titanfall 3 game, I've been like super hyped. And basically, it's never going to happen. Titanfall 3 is dead. It's dead. It's beyond dead. It's already buried at this point. Played GTA 4 for months before I did the first mission, never finished. There's games like that, man. There are games where you can just completely get sidetracked and never finish the game. Okay, seriously, your transformation looks amazing. You did an incredible job, and the overall feeling is perfect, I promise. I'd never heard the left no crumbs. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think this is a new, necessarily Gen Z thing. But I think there's the whole, what is it? We're eating good thing. I hate that expression so much. We know you're a fake gamer. You don't need to keep telling us. Yeah. Titanfall 2 is so great. We're never going to get 3. Dude, it's sad. It's so sad. Maybe I should join up with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and start a petition to get Titanfall 3 made. Is he a big Titanfall guy? I don't know. I've never paid that much attention, to be honest. All right. Great news, everyone. We've discovered a new A. 2 new A's, actually, and it's all thanks to Grand Theft Auto 6, which is so gargantuanly, revoltingly high budget that neither AAA nor quadruple A are sufficient to describe it. We're in quintuple A territory, gang. New heights of absurdity are here. That's per Nigel Lowry, co-founder of Devolver Digital, in a chat with IGN. In a chat about Silksong and the mad scramble of devs to escape the orbit of its release date, Lowry mentioned that there is, of course, an upcoming release even bigger, more enormous, more Brobdingnagian? I don't know what that means. Than Hornet and her needle. One of you guys will understand what that means. I loved Apex when it started, and that feels like a constant rush. I feel as if every player's on crack. I'm too old for that shit. Hey, Vernum, you should see me. So my daughter sits there on the couch playing on the Xbox. Her twin brother takes the Nintendo out of the dock and the tablet so we can talk on Discord into their room. And then my oldest kid, he's on his computer in his room. And so the 4 of us are playing. We synchronize our timing so we can get into the same match. Sometimes we're on the same team. Sometimes we're facing each other, whatever. And oh my God, the game pisses me off like no other. Like, I spend so much time. Like, I'm asking my daughter, why aren't you there? Why aren't you covering me? What are you thinking? And then all of a sudden I have an enemy in front of me. I go to shoot and my gun's shooting over there. The recoil is five, isn't it? What comes after 5? Because we got double, triple, quadruple, quintuple. What is 6? Anybody know? I want Apex to be a game where if I shoot someone with a triple take and choke, then they go down instead of running at me and... Dude, no, for real. Honestly, they've nerfed, changed. They keep changing the ammo types on the guns. Like, when I first started, Spitfire was heavy, R99 was light, RE45 was light. All the triple take took sniper rounds. Everything was simple. Now they've revolved or rotated all the guns in and out of the care packages. Everything takes different ammo. Everything's got different. RE45 is now energy with a burst fire instead of full auto light ammo. It's like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. Sextuple? Oh, there you go. Whenever my voice rises sharply, it triggers. Is that what does it? Oh, okay. I'll have to test that out at some point. So if I start talking like this the whole time. From Why Don't You Cover Me Over There? Okay, thanks, Mari. So yeah, basically it was just talking about strategy and all that and my gun recoil patterns. It's so tough because my daughter is, for being a 10-year-old, she's really good at the game, but she also has no sense of strategy whatsoever. So she'll go walk into like a room by herself and get mobbed by 3 different guys. I'm like, okay, honey, you got to think strategy, right? Be strategic. 7 is Hepta. At some point, they just can add an A. Not that it matters anyway, yeah. Oh, Apex Legends. We were talking about Apex. All right, so it says here, there are AAA games, and this is Nigel Lowry from Devolver Digital speaking. And then there's quadruple A games, said Lowry. And I'd argue that Grand Theft Auto is potentially the quintuple A game. That's quintuple A if they start blurring together at some point for you, like they do for me. It's just bigger than anything else, both in the scope and scale of the game and the kind of cultural impact that it has and the attention it demands. The mic has a built-in Reddit mod. No, KH is our built-in Reddit mod. Oh, man. Speaking of which, I gotta see if I can do something from right here. Oh, I could do that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Upgrades and change chat modes in live. Would you look at that? Hey, DB, you should try typing something. So, H. Brown, the only quadruple A game that I can recall ever being mentioned was Skull and Bones. And that was a brutal, epic failure of massive proportions. Okay, that was one of those things where it's like, calling that game a quadruple A game was kind of like the kiss of death for Ubisoft. That started everything else just kind of going downhill for them. I only care about 1A, if you know what I mean. Money laundering? Maybe. I don't know. If I didn't know you were talking about Apex, I would think it's the average UK experience. Oh, you were alerted when it happened. You know, I'm such a boomer. I know where to mod you from behind the scenes, but I didn't know that I could just right-click in the YouTube chat and make you a mod right there. So, Skull and Bones was all budget, no quality, 100%. So, Silksong might have loomed over other indie games, but GTA 6 hangs over anything you could conceivably call a video game. I don't think this is true. Here's why. I don't think if there's a game like Elden Ring coming out the same week next year as GTA 6, that it will have any impact on that game whatsoever. I think the people who are going to play GTA have always planned on buying the next GTA, and there's going to be 10 million of them when the game launches all playing at the same time. And I think the rest of the video game industry will be just fine, because there are plenty of people like me who have no intention of buying GTA 6. Lots and lots of them, you know? Ubisoft was already circling the drain for years. Yeah, but that was kind of like that. Dude, that started. So they started last year with Skull and Bones. Then you got Star Wars Outlaws. Then you had Assassin's Creed Shadows. It kind of like everything just, it just, you know, snowballed for them. He's racking up the mod tags all over the net. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Don't worry, I won't let him abuse his power. Oh, you're a mod for Philip Chen. You and him are besties then. I need to actually subscribe to him. I've never watched a single video of his. I started watching the one that he did the other day, but it was on Words of Paradise watching his video, so. No interest in playing GTA 6? I mean, yeah, for real, I think a lot of people are going to be like, you know, there will be a certain amount of hype. It'll make a lot of money. It probably won't hit the target that they're shooting for. I think a lot of people are expecting it to do far better than it's going to, but obviously it's still going to make money. Gave DB Wild a globe for real, so lit. Hey, there's about a dozen of you guys in the chat that if you asked to be a moderator, I would mod you, but I'm not that person who goes around and being like, I need you guys to moderate for me. No. You guys are here because you want to be here or you feel compelled to be here because you feel sorry for me. But I'm not going to pressure anybody into be a moderator. I feel like that's one of those things that's like, some people take very seriously, and I'm like, no, I just don't really, I don't want you guys to feel like you have to be around all the time, or that you're going to be needed because I need moderate. I can moderate just fine on my own, but I do appreciate you guys for helping out. PC, it's going to be fine because it's only going to be on consoles for at least a year. Oh, okay, you're right. Hey, Truth. I don't want mod. I talk too much shit. I got no problem with you being a mod and talking shit. That doesn't bother me at all. GTA name is baked in a ton of revenue, not a lot of quality. Very true. I recall a trailer for that one about a decade or so ago. Which game we're talking about? Oh, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Yes. I only moderate annoyances. I'm not one to throw up constant links in chat. Yeah, you know, the channels in the past that I've moderated for, that's kind of the situation for me. It's like, I'll hang around, and if somebody's being a complete dick, I might say something. But I'm not that person that's like, oh, here's their Discord, here's their YouTube. It's like, no. Shit-talking mods, exactly. We all need shit-talking mods. All right, so Adam Lieb, CEO of GameSite marketing platform, said in the same interview, I would say that GTA for the last year and a half has been part of an almost every conversation around launch dates I've heard. Not really for me, not for anybody that I've talked to about it. The scope of that game is so large that it ends up competing with stuff that it would otherwise wouldn't. If you're a shooter, you don't care a lot about other things besides shooters. Generally, if you're FPS, that's the genre you care about, but GTA has been this little bit of a black cloud that looms kind of over everything. I say again, I don't think so. I don't think that GTA 6 is going to shitake? Yeah. I don't think GTA 6 is going to have this profound effect where people suddenly stop spending money on other games because they have to save up for GTA 6. I don't see that happening. Now, I'm not saying it won't make money. Of course it's going to make money. Did a video about a game called Hell Is Us. Anybody check it out yet? And I have seen people playing it. I've seen some people sharing their thoughts on it. Typically fairly positive from what I've seen. It was really funny that there was a review from one of these game journal websites where they're like, he's just another boring white guy in a trench coat. I'm like, seriously? Come on.
How much you care.
Why you got to do white guys dirty like that?
Tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
You suck. That's why I'm here. Maybe you haven't got to it yet. But I think Silksong looks average, but it's cheap. Each to their own though.
Smeg, I do suck, and I appreciate you for sucking with me. That sounded really gay. Oh my. Hang on. Do I have this one? I don't think I have that one. Damn it. Oh my god. I needed to have the, we're all homos, homo sapiens, but I didn't add that one to my soundboard. Damn. Anyways, Smegs, thank you for the 10, buddy. Appreciate you, man. For real, on God, no cap. Yeah. Think it's gonna get more hype because of the before GTA 6 memes. I mean, okay, don't underestimate meme magic. Meme magic is really a thing. Memes have done a lot, both for politics and pop culture, entertainment, and stuff. I mean, hell, if not for memes, Trump might not have won 2016. I'm not even kidding. Okay, meme magic is a real thing. Bro is for aura farming. Oh my god, aura farming so wild. No cap, his Riz had the room perma-locked like it was a side quest. On God, vibes were so cracked, it felt like the timeline got... I feel like I'm getting more R-worded, KH, if you're still there, every time I read these. Rockstar tries the same BS they did with Red Dead 2, then they'll make a massive drop-off by going too far with the cash shop. I don't know that they... Okay, so Black Cat, I think you were one of the ones who commented on a video I did talking about people are the ones who spend the money, so, you know, people have to learn to stop giving these companies their money. Something along those lines. I remember a comment from you along those lines. When 50% of the gaming revenue in North America and Europe is from microtransactions, how do you get people to stop doing that? I mean, the cash shop, the item shops, the cosmetics, that's where they're all making their money. And people continue to give their money to these companies through the microtransactions. Now, I guess the difference is GTA 6 is not a free-to-play game. So the free-to-play game, at least if your 300 hours of gameplay didn't cost you anything and you want to throw 20 bucks into the item shop, I guess that's better than spending $80 or $100 on a game that you technically don't own anyways. Corpos and journos don't know what the F they're talking about. Oh, we'll get to that too, don't worry. We'll get to that as well. GTA 5 got a second win from GTA 5 RP, but then the publisher started messing. Yeah, I remember something about that. They started messing with the mods, right? I'm not going to say that... Okay, so Lugia, I'm not going to say that the hype is not real. I'm not going to say that the hype isn't quote-unquote warranted for people who are massive GTA fans. I just know, looking at it as somebody who's never played the series or never really cared about the series, nothing about the trailer is going to make me want to play the game. Like, there are those games I look at as someone who occasionally streams gameplay, and I go, well, I might enjoy that, but it would also be good for views on the channel if I played this game. That's not one that I would ever consider playing, even if it was going to be the best video or best game to play for views anyways. I just have no desire, you know? Incentives are totally screwing up gaming in general. Microtransactions and whales and whatnot have ruined it. Yeah, I mean, in games like the free-to-play games, the live service shooters, there's that 5% that no life a game where they're just going to try to be the sweatiest, top esports, streamer of, the certain game of the decade. And they ruin the experience for the rest of us because skill-based matchmaking is a joke. I shouldn't be against guys in that lobby, but it happens 90% of the time, so whatever. And that's just the reality for it. And then there's the microtransactions and everything else. So there's a lot of shit. I can smell the GTA commercial. I mean, you're not wrong. It's interesting. Microtransactions, that when you proposition a little person for frisky fun time with money. Technically, how little are we talking? Are we talking about little people or people like me, the short kings of the world? Because I don't typically engage in microtransactions, but it depends on how much money we're talking about. Spoonful of microtransactions help the bad games go down in the most insightful ways. I wonder if anybody else younger than us knows what song you're paraphrasing there, Patriot. If they turn GTA into a free-to-play gacha game, interesting. I mean, they might have something there. I can understand free-to-play with cosmetics, but paid for upfront games with them can get effed. Yeah, I mean, I've honestly said this for a while. I'm like, if you want to play a free-to-play game and you give, $20, $30, like again, Warframe, I think I threw $20 into the time I played that game. That's all it ever cost me for hundreds of hours of gameplay, and it was cool. Again, Apex Legends, $10 for the Battle Pass, maxed it out 3 times. I got my $10 worth. But when it comes to a game that you've already sunk $80 to $100 into to then be like, oh, now I need this skin or this booster pack or this DLC pack or this map pack or whatever, it's insane. Joe Rogan's midget size. Well, he certainly isn't taller than me, that's for sure. Talking about little people, not that little transaction you've got in your front wallet. Hey now, man. That might be true, but it's still hurtful. All right, so moving on, it seems like GTA 6 might actually get delayed from May to October, according to Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. And the thing about Insider Gaming is for game journalist websites, they kind of slap. I'm not going to lie. Most of their stuff is pretty solid, at least as far as game journalists go. So it says, Tom Henderson, owner of Insider Gaming, has stated that he expects GTA 6 to be delayed beyond May 26 to October 2026, as the game would benefit more from profits during the holiday period. Keep in mind that this is his opinion and is unverified. So, I mean, that being said, if they move the game further back to October, yeah, I think dropping a game like this in May is not going to do as well as closer to the Christmas season, obviously. Although I would... It's weird to think, oh yeah, I will go to the store and buy my 13-year-old GTA 6. He wouldn't catch me doing that, but hey, to each their own, right? Just like any journos who can't hate game journos enough. Yes, that's true, drop of water, but I will say, Insider Gaming, I've never seen the inflammatory shit coming out of them. They actually do a pretty good job with just reporting on stories, giving insight. They've had a lot of good scoops. They are the opposite of PC Gamer. Like, if within the still being mainstream games journalist shtick, they are as opposite from PC Gamer as you can possibly get. So I got to give credit where credit's due. All right, so Quillpig, if you're still here, I mentioned earlier, we're not getting into any specifics about the game. We're not getting into any spoilers, so feel free to hang if you want. We're not going to be doing anything where it's like tries to modern 1337 speak. No, I'm good. Well, drop of water, I wouldn't say that there's very many good ones. Yeah, politically correct gamer, exactly. If I may say, I used to look forward to Game Informer. Oh, I love the Game Informer. Dude, I was bummed when Game Informer stopped being a publication, man. I really was. Had a subscription for years. These days, though, there's really a game to look forward to. No wonder it died out. Yeah, leaked. Leaked, like that website Leadify, man. God. That's one of those things that I've had a hard time remembering is leaked. All right, so Chibi Reviews says one of these two will win Game of the Year award in 2025. I'm going to throw my money on Claire Obscure Expedition 33 for two reasons. One of them being the storyline is so fantastic. The music, again, the almost cinematic quality experience of the game. And of course, the gameplay is freaking fantastic. I know a lot of people are like, oh, turn-based, it sucks. I can't stand turn-based. This game is incredible, okay? That being said, I haven't played Hollow Knight yet. I'm probably going to play it tomorrow if I don't get to it tonight. So yeah, I think Expedition 33 is a solid, easy win. I don't see how it doesn't. I'm not even gonna think about any other game that's come out this year. I don't care. No matter how much I've enjoyed any other game, no matter how many games, like Metal Gear Solid people were waiting for, or games like the freaking Gears of War remaster that just came out, and it doesn't matter. None of these other games are gonna hold a candle to Expedition 33. It's just not gonna happen. I've enjoyed many turn-based light RPGs. Dude, drop of water. Expedition 33 is freaking fantastic. Speaking Gen Z and Elite, on God for real, that Skibbity Riz got me dead. It does suck because it's turn-based. Oh, no.
And if you have a problem
Oh, it's
with
not
that,
full screen.
come fight me.
Why isn't it full screen?
Physically.
That's what she said. We got to get it again because we need full screen.
And if
There's
you have
full
a
screen,
problem
sort
with
of.
that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Oh, well. We almost nailed it. That's what she said. Roach King hates turn-based, and he even loved the game. The funny thing about Asmongold is I've never really watched him play very many games. But at the same time, I'm sure he's good at I'm sure he's good at World of Warcraft, right? So... Expedition 33 looks like it rocks. So the game isn't a $60 game. So you're already starting off ahead there, $40 game. On Game Pass, you can get like a 1-month Game Pass through Instant Gaming. Link down below, just saying. Throw my own little plug out there. I picked up 2 of them, the non-stackable ones, for $10 each. So when your subscription expires, you can get it for another month for $10. So every time I see her, my Peter shrinks. Yeah. Aggressively French. I know. We didn't need full screen. Yeah, we did. We needed full screen. What are the politics of the team for Expedition 33? None that I've ever known. Here's the thing, Black Cat. Here's the incredible, crazy thing about it. A bunch of French people, a bunch of women. The game is dominant as far as like the female characters have the heavier part of the game. The game has a lot of music and emotion and talking and dialogue, and you'd think that those would all be things that most gamers would hate, right? Because again, we've seen time and time again, games like Life is Strange will ruin all those things. But it doesn't even matter, like at this point, sure, I mean, maybe one of the developers at one point said something mean about somebody and it's going to be clipped out of context and they'll try to use that to keep the game from getting Game of the Year. It's not going to matter. There's just no way. Politics aside, they've checked all the boxes without trying to, that if they don't give it to them, I mean, the games media already looks like a bunch of idiots anyways, so. Death Stranding 2, oh my god. Wait, is Death Stranding 2 out yet? I feel like it hasn't come out yet, right? I haven't heard anything about it recently. Won't be Game of the Year because the in-game messages you need a father in your life. Ouch. No, you might not be wrong there, actually. Well, and see, Drop of Water, the thing about it is, I've said for years now, you can have a game that has its own politics. I'm fine with that. Just don't include modern real-world politics into your game. That's boring, you know? Take Us North as game of the year. Come on. All right. So the crazy thing is, Hollow Knight Silksong, it peaked yesterday at 535,000 players. Today hit a new peak, 562,000. The game launched simultaneously on Game Pass and Steam. It broke the Steam store. I mean, this game is absolutely unhinged as far as the amount of attention it's getting, right? Archer Smirkowski from Soul Ash 2 says, indies continue to break the ceilings. Industry shift is inevitable. 500,000 concurrent players in Silksong before the weekend. Self-published, no bloated marketing, no early review keys, day one Game Pass. This is the impressive part. No review keys. None to content creators, none to games journalists, no early access, none of this crap. They just put the game out and the game did well. And this is a sequel to a game that came out 10 years ago, okay, from a small team. It already came out and everyone completely forgot about it? Wait, seriously? Oh, yeah, Gamescom was complete crap. Game Awards, yeah, Game Awards suck. The last one was a joke. Jobs behavior was just not for me. Yeah. Smeg, you're not wrong. Actually, they dug deep and they got the chick from The Wrap, was it? Snapchat had this thing where she worked for, it wasn't IGN, maybe she did work for IGN. I cannot remember, Sydney something, whatever her name was. And she would do like this little segment, these little like bite-sized segments and stuff. I think they featured her on like Snapchat or some other app or whatever. And yeah, I mean, she was one of the hosts on the Game Awards, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I mean, you got Hollow Knight Silksong, you've got Schedule 1, 459,000. Dude, Hollow Knight beat Schedule 1. It beat Repo, 271,000. Deltarune, this is another game I don't even know anything about, 133,000. And that doesn't even count Expedition 33, which had a massive amount of players. Mainstream awards shows are all crap. This is one of the reasons to support Stutter and Craig's TRGA. I just hope that the Real Game Awards does more. I hope that they actually do something in person. I hope that they, because I'm not one of these people, like I know Fratanga was calling it a scam. I don't think it was a scam. I just don't necessarily believe that it was worth the money that people put into it. But with that money that they collected, hopefully they can do a better, like take two, like second attempt at it this next year. We'll see. I don't know. If Take Us North was made by Kojima, I wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make a difference at all. All right, so let's see here. From German Strands, some Hollow Knight Silksong stats. 535,000 Steam players on release day, 91.7 positive reviews. I saw something about this that was kind of weird because people were giving it a positive review before even fighting the first boss, which I think is kind of strange. It is supposed to be a live event? Okay, that's cool. I guess I'm too old. To me, it looks like regression instead of progression. It depends on what your viewpoint, like what are you looking for in a game? Are you looking for it to have the cutting edge, like Unreal Engine 5 level quality graphics, again with this the hyper realism and all that, or are you looking for a game that's just an awesome, fun Metroidvania side scroller? You know? Oh, cool! They already have the venue locked in. That's awesome. In that bish and not. Oh my god! Overwhelmingly positive. Number one top 100 selling Steam games by revenue. Issues on Steam, Nintendo Store, PlayStation Store, and Xbox Store due to high player traffic. Players on PS5 were kicked out of the game because the servers were overloaded. 250,000 live viewers on Twitch, which was 9% of Twitch viewers. 11,579 live channels on Twitch playing it, 10% of all Twitch players. Yeah, just did incredible, right? And that was within the first like 24 hours. You say UE5 awesome graphics, but look at Velgard. I'm saying what UE5 is supposed to represent. I'm not saying that they always nail it. I'm not saying that they always do a good job with it. I'm saying what UE5 is supposed to represent is, you know, the best graphics and all that. They just don't seem to actually achieve it. It might look good, but it's generic. There's no inch of art direction. Make it real is all they go for. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. So Silksong is so popular, even people in the piracy subreddit are encouraging others just to buy it. If we can afford to support them, we should, which I think is admirable. Art style and gameplay is my priority on games. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't like to get pigeonholed into one specific type of game. So yes, art style matters, but some games, different art styles work well for the type of game it is. And that depends on the gameplay. That depends on, again, how much of it is a story-driven game and there's like the storytelling elements to versus how much of it is action. What kind of action? Is it an RPG? Is it just a straight-up button masher? Like, again, that all depends on the game. Not to mention the constant stuttering, for real. Blurry shadows, artifacts, and ghosting, yeah. SC Patriot, yeah, my priority is story, needs a great story, deep philosophical meaning, subtext, messages of good and evil. Right, and so everyone's going to get something different out of a game. So Legendary Drop says, I think in most cases, if it's worth the money, if it's affordable and accessible, people will buy it rather than pirate it. More times than not, people are pirating your shit because they don't have the money, can't get it any other way, and don't trust your games not to be shit, which I think, again, is a fair take. Most people who pirate games do it not because they hate game developers and not because they believe in thievery above anything else. It's because they don't want to give the money to some of these awful companies that continue to rob us blind with these really shitty games at $60, $70, $80 prices. After 7 years of dev time from 7 people for $20, I love this so much. Not gonna lie, Legendary in the house. I mean, dude, honestly, first off, Legendary Drops is awesome. He's freaking awesome. Legendary Drops is what the vast majority of video game commentators should be. Don't get backholden. I'll try not to. Yeah, no pigeonholing, no backholing, none of that. Pirate Nation, no pre-orders, $20. Crashes all stores, no review copies, breaks 500,000 players on Steam alone in hours. Silksong has annihilated AAA gaming and set a precedent. I think this is very true. One is made with love and one's made with passion. One is made with love and passion. The other one we can forget about, although it's nominated the worst slop of all time. Here, the comparisons, when people start doing this, the comparisons between games that are not similar at all, I think is kind of strange. So, for example, Hollow Knight, Metroidvania, side-scrolling, very simple in appearance, at least the way the game looks, versus a massively bloated AAA game, multiplayer live service title that's hideous and nobody asked for and nobody wanted. They're in different realms, obviously. The point still stands that with a small team, they created a game for a third the price or half the price that kicked the other game's ass by, infinite numbers. Like, it's astronomically different. But I do think it is kind of strange to compare two completely different type games that have nothing to do with each other at all. So, Matt Adam, I heard 3 devs, but then I also saw Legendary Drops on his video talking about it, mentioned that there was a total of 7. So they might have had a few people who were also working on it. But, less than 10 people. Oh yeah, Legendary Drops is fantastic. But it is about efficiency. Correct. 100% about efficiency. I can enjoy sandbox games like I enjoy potato chips. However, what I want from games is a great steak. I mean, you're not wrong there. Actually, I can definitely agree with that. This one's fantastic. I love the memes. Nure says, Silksong, a game people thought was never coming out, drops with 0 marketing, no early review copies, costs $20, and still crashes 3 major stores on release, outperforming every AAA game in the last 5 years, which is crazy. But again, this is the crazy part. We're going to see some weird takes. There's been a lot of strange takes about this. Both compete for the same player attention and sales. Yeah, okay, they both compete for sales because they're both video games, but that's like saying that, that's like saying a vegan fast food place is competing with McDonald's. They have very different audiences. They're both food, but they're very different types of food. The people that really love the side-scrolling Metroidvania type games, I don't know personally because I don't play them. Like, they're not games that I typically... Like, I played one, Somber Echoes, that I was doing as background footage for a video I did a couple weeks back. But it's not a game that I'm like, oh, I have to go back and play this game over and over. Obviously, everyone's going to have, like we were saying, everyone's going to have a preference. So yes, they're both games, and they're both competing for your attention, and they're both vying for your money, but they're from vastly different genres, I feel like the comparison is fair in terms of the development time and the money that it takes and the size of the studios, but they're trying to achieve very different things. Looking for lunch, I don't want pancakes. Pancakes for lunch wouldn't be that terrible. I do breakfast for dinner all the time. Pancakes for lunch, we call that brunch. Like everything under 10, this is magic. Yeah. I love Metroidvania type games like Dead Cells, but it's a callback to the old days and not everyone's into them. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think it's completely unfair. I just think that you have to keep in mind, make like fair comparisons. For example, one is a single player and one's multiplayer. So compare it to, if we have to compare it to a single player game that wasn't great, compare it to Dragon Age Velgard. Sure, one's an RPG, one's Metroidvania, but at least they're both single player games. Compare it to Assassin's Creed Shadows. Compare it to something else that's single player, you know? If the vegan food place outsells McDonald's 1,000 to 1, then isn't it telling? Well, that would be telling. That would tell you that that's what people are looking for. That is true. I mean, you have a point there. What would be the correlation in vegetarian speak? I enjoy it like a stick of celery, but I really want a bowl of lettuce. Why? Why? Why would you want that? Why would you want that? So Cabrutus says it actually is 3 things: diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because people say, what caused this phenomenon? It has to be more than one thing. And again, here you go on this meme, comparing it to Concord again. And then you've got Avowed, Dragon Age Velgard, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. And again, these are all RPGs, obviously. Metroidvania game. I don't know if Hollow Knight has RPG elements or not. Never played the original, so I don't know if there's RPG elements as far as like upgrade systems and skill trees and stuff. But at least you're comparing it to single player games here, and that makes perfect sense. Like the comparison is there, right? Lettuce and tomatoes is all a man needs, the vegan way. I need more than just that. I like lettuce and tomatoes, but I need more than that. Become emperor on your gigantic 11 testosterone. So you got over here on the left, you've got your modern game devs. It says, please buy our game for $200. We spent the last 7 years carving the pores into Lucia's left ass cheek. Our employees missed the births of their own children, so the mud texture on Crack Dealer 31's shoe looks just right. Please give us $199. And again, talking about GTA 6. Sorry for the decades-long delay. That'll be $20. Yeah. I mean, the memes have been fantastic. There's one that we're going to get to in a second that is just degenerate and hilarious. I shared it on Discord already. Someone says, this will sell our game. Someone should mod the curves. Again, I didn't realize until I started reading about it that the protagonist of Hollow Knight, Silksong, is a girl, and that would make this technically a dress that this bug character is wearing. Howling Mutant says someone should put giant tits on it, please, and somebody did, apparently. I mean, I don't even know. I have no words when it comes to this one, guys. But it is funny because I feel like the First Descendant all over again. Like, oh, this will help sell our game, right? Right? C.H. Brown gets it. Is this what gamers want? Yeah, wrong game. Wrong game, guys. Gonna get a collective shout on our ass with that game. Then, of course, you have Team Cherry, again, the team that made Hollow Knight, saying, we didn't release it earlier because we were having fun making it. We haven't said anything for 6 years, but the game will be released in 2 weeks. Journalists will not receive an early copy. They must play the game on the same day as other players. Can't be mad at that. Oh my god. George Alexopoulos says, an indie game made by 3 people. And again, it's between 3 and 7 is what I'm hearing. But again, tiny studio, right? Tiny. Selling for $20, has sold millions of copies in only a few hours. Passion is the most powerful ingredient of art. It can't be bought, not even with an unlimited budget for development and advertising. I salute Team Cherry. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and again, I think it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters which of these games, between Clair Obscur and Silksong, wins Game of the Year. First off, Game of the Year doesn't matter because it's done by the games journalists and nobody respects them anyways, right? But at the end of the day, people can play both. Both are on Game Pass. Both have done incredibly well for themselves in terms of revenue, total sales, reception by players, all of it, you know? What is the greatest game ever made? Oh boy. Oh boy. I'd have to dig through my forbidden knowledge of all the gay games. I'll get back to you on that one. Team's very impressive. They did a fine job making what they wanted to make. Bowing so far to no one, 100%. They're forgetting Schedule 1. I mean, that's the thing. People have forgotten about Schedule 1 because that was already yesterday, right? That was already 2-3 days ago, and people move on quickly. Is Is this the gayest game ever? I'm gonna kill my microphone again. Dude, that guy from Variety, I don't understand. I don't, like, we all know who I'm talking about, right? He gets on the red carpet with these actors, and all he can ask them is this the gayest action film of all time? Is this the gayest Marvel film? Yeah. It's so bad. Dude, I swear to God, he has a one-track mind, you know? So now we're gonna get into some of the stupid takes, the retarded takes, the weird takes from people. Some interesting questions, you know. There's some of them for sure. IGN, Rebecca Valentine, somebody who as a journalist sucks. Okay, here's my opinion of anything that Rebecca Valentine has ever written.
Oh shit! No, this is actually really dumb. That's awful, dude. No, eat my entire ass. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
So my general opinion of anything Rebecca Valentine and most of the people at IGN has ever written, that kind of sums it up. So thank you to Pirate Software for your contribution to the stream. But that being said, Silksong players really want to pet the dog. Oh, I mean the Bell Beast. All right. What is with the weird obsession from games journalists and petting animals in games? You remember the video we saw of Assassin's Creed Shadows where the game glitched out and they tried to stop and pet the dog or pet the cat and it didn't work? But it's like, of course, games journalists are the ones who are like, oh, I want to go pet the cat. Look, I've got somewhere around here, I've got 2 cats and a dog hiding, sleeping somewhere, right? If I want to go pet an animal, I'll go pet one of them. For me personally, it's like petting animals in a game doesn't do a thing for me. It's okay, it's fine. You had to refresh the stream. Oh man. So for me personally, if it's just a little thing in the game, cool, whatever. But it's like, what a weird take. You're playing a little insect creature and you've got this Bell Beast, which I guess is somewhat resembles a dog, but you can't pet it. And there are people who are genuinely upset about not being able to pet the dog thing. They really like animals. I mean, he tried to sue that dev. Oh yeah, he tried to sue him. Did he? Well, he copyright claimed him. Did he sue him? We're talking about Private Parts, the guy who made the thing was he made a parody game of him. Actually, I've played it. It's not great, but Private Parts, he said, yeah, you know, it's not supposed to be great. It's a meme, you know. It's one thing. You guys need to understand. It's one thing to have it as an option in a game to where you can do it once and you move on with your day. Journalists, for some weird reason, it's a constant recurring theme. If you go to Kotaku, IGN, PC Gamer, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Starts with a V, I think. You go to any of these websites, it's an obsession. It's the weirdest thing. It's the word for is a non-gamers that obsess over petting things in games. It's not a creature collector. It's hardly relevant. Right. So a creature collector, I could see that. Or if you're playing a cozy sim, ugh, God, I hate the whole cozy term. I know, yeah, I'm sorry guys, I had to say cozy game, where you have house pets and you're farming and you've got your cows and your dogs and your cat and you're curled up sitting in a chair, whatever. That would make sense, sure, okay. But in this situation, I don't know. Whole article is about IGN for nothing. Yeah, used to shooting the wild animals in games. It was 3 dudes, wasn't it? Does that even count as AA? No, it's an indie game. I think they're calling it truly an indie game. In Blasphemous, you can pet a dog. Interesting, I didn't know there was a dog in Blasphemous. I know plenty of games on itch.io that'll allow you to pet certain things, right? But see, Matt Adam, the thing about IGN is all the revenue's drying up for a lot of these games journalists, these websites, the traditional media. So they have to pump out article after article after article to try to get the tiniest bit of ad revenue they possibly can. But I'm using Brave Browser, so it blocks all the ads anyways, so it's not going to be a problem. Here was one I saw a few days ago. This one's crazy, okay? Oh, sorry, I saw it yesterday morning. Feels like days ago. This is a review of Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, I don't know if this is a legitimate review. Okay, I don't know. This could just be a person trolling. Their username is 2genders with like a female clown face. 0.4 hours on record, not recommended. Not surprising to me, this woke, ugly baby game piece of trash is being overhyped. You know why it's not surprising to me? Just look at the mental illness epidemic we're going through in Western countries. People are willing to vote liberal for mass immigration and white replacement. People are mutilating themselves. People are confused what gender they truly are. We are a lost society, and people hyping up this generic simpleton 2D garbage is further proof that we are a culture of mental illness. That's troll. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Because I cannot believe that this is a legitimate, like, genuine review. It's gotta be a troll account. Yeah, Hook. No, I think it's gotta be. If not, this person needs to seek help. But if this is a troll, fantastic. Like, well done. Great job. Here's another one, another article, Screen Rant. Again, games journalists complain about the stupidest shit. The article is, I wish I had waited to play Hollow Knight Silksong. Goes on to say, essentially, it's confusing for newcomers. It's hard to know what's new. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If you start the second book in a trilogy, if you start the second movie in a franchise, if you start the second, video game in a series, in a franchise, is it the game developer, the writer, or the filmmaker's job to make sure that you are 100% caught up on the second entry into the franchise before you go on to the second one? Or is it up to you to piece it together as you go along because you skipped the first entry, right? That was on you. So the problem is that you have games journalists like this going, well, the game's really confusing if you didn't play the first one. If you didn't play the first one, maybe don't play the second one yet. If you want to play the second one, Google, right? Just Google. It's really not that complicated. Writes a whole article about it. Confusing for newcomers. You should play Hollow Knight before Silksong. You'll be missing out otherwise. Silksong's still amazing. Obviously a great game. These are more maybe he had AI read it. Like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paragraphs just to tell you you might need to look it up before you play the second game. Those articles are hilarious and painfully real. It's true, man. Screen Rant sucks. You always skip the first book or film in a series. It's like the foreplay of the story. You skip foreplay too. I hope you have lube. Hope you have lube, man. My God. Mudahar drops his scorching hot take. We all remember Mudahar, right? Silksong is worth more than $20. Now, is that article a TLDR, as the youth say? I gave you the TLDR because it wasn't worth reading. Watched Return of the King, then went to the second. Oh my God, Smeg. So I got to tell you, funny anecdote. My kids wanted to watch the Hobbit movies last year, and I wasn't home because I was working. And so they watched the first one. And by the way, The Hobbit should have been 1, maybe 2 movies. They could have possibly split the book into 2 movies and made 2 3-hour movies, but they really should not have made a trilogy. That sucked. That being said, they watched the first one. The next day I go to work. I come home and my wife is like, yeah, the kids watched the second movie, but it was really confusing because they didn't know where the dragon came from because it was already awake and this and that. I'm like, you guys watched the third movie. I'm like, oh my God. So legitimately, they skipped the entire second movie and went on to the third one. I'm like, well, you saved yourselves 2 hours of pain, I mean, the Hobbit movies aren't that bad as far as just movies go, but as far as adaptations, they suck. Okay, they're terrible. He's right, the game's worth more than 20, which is why the devs are such chads for making it 20. I mean, that's a fair opinion. That's a fair take. I just think anybody encouraging developers to upcharge their games more than they already do, please, come on, for the love of God. We've gone through this year after year where they continue to try to justify increasing prices. This game is perfect where it's at. $20, it's probably already sold 2 million copies. It's on Game Pass. They're making money from Microsoft for that. To me, it doesn't need to be worth anything. To a Metroidvania fan, it's worth 20. To a Hollow Knight fan, it's worth more, right? So, Burnham, it's entirely subjective, It's entirely subjective to what you like. So, 100%. Hobbit films were terrible. Oh my God. As movies, fine. But as The Hobbit, no. Really bad. Patriot, but you could say the same thing about Rings of Power. There's stuff from Tolkien in there, but it all sucks. You know? Trump, 47th Samurai Warrior, how you doing, buddy? $20 is the right price for almost any okay game? Yeah. So my comparison to this is I spent, I had 10% off because it was on sale. It had just launched. When Valheim launched years ago, I picked it up for $18. That game is worth more than $20. However, do I want them to charge more for it? Of course not. You know? Don't let them start going on Lord of the Rings, guys. I'm just saying. No worries, H. Brown. Take it easy, buddy. It's worse. It's X. Yeah, who cares what anybody says there? I know. But it's good fodder for talk. It's good fodder for conversation. You know? That is exponentially different. You cannot compare port adaptation to The Hobbit to complete bastardization. I mean, dude, you got to think about how much they screwed up and changed in The Hobbit to stretch it into 3 movies instead of 1 film. They bastardized a lot too. I mean, really, they did. To the extent that it almost reaches Rings of Power levels of bastardization. I'm just saying, it's huge. I'm just saying, you know. Let's see. They could release an art book for Silksong for another $20 for people who want to support them more, but I imagine they probably wouldn't do a $20 price tag on it. Rings of Power TV show of the year every... So, this ties in perception of value to this conversation that I saw from Destructoid about a tweet from a developer. It says Silksong's $20 price tag could hurt the indie scene, but only if devs let price anxiety win. It's not quite the end of the world. Huge. So, basically the argument is, these guys give you this much value for $20. What's the next indie dev going to do to compete? What if they can't compete? How does this hurt other indie devs? I think it's a crazy thing to say because every indie game is going to be different. And guess what? Indie devs, while they don't have the funding, they don't have the backing of big, publishers and all that. They don't have, a 500-man team to work with. They don't have the operating cost that these big studios have. I mean, freaking CD Projekt Red has 800 people right now working on The Witcher 4 and whatever game is coming after Cyberpunk 2077. You're talking millions of dollars being spent every year just on payroll. So while you do have this as a scenario where indie devs are going to start freaking out apparently because they're worried that they can't compete with a $20 price tag, it's like, guys, this to me seems like needless panic, because everyone's going to view each game as worth whatever the developer says that they think it's worth. If they decided to charge $30 for Silksong, most of the people who bought it and loved it are still going to say $30 was worth it, Thoughts on The Hobbit 1977? I've watched it, but it's been so long ago, Big Gator. I cannot recall. I remember it was kind of trippy. It was kind of weird. I've watched a lot of cartoons from that era and previous, If they can't make an indie game for $20, they should stop trying. I think that's fair. Again, maximum for indie. I've said this before. Indie should cap out at about 20 to maybe $30 at the high end. AA, 30 to 40, AAA, 50 to 60, and anything beyond that, I think is overpriced. So that's just my take on that. Unless you want to buy some super premium deluxe edition of a game for $80 or $90, I was waiting for the articles to say this is hurting the industry just like Baldur's Gate 3, right? Yeah. Yeah, Rings of Power is impossible to outdo in terms of awfulness. You are correct. It's truly... The Hobbit movies are still good movies, as movies go. They're still entertaining. Rings of Power is not. Somebody was asking how woke Rings of Power is. Super woke. It's uber woke. I mean, and I say that as somebody who's sick and tired of the term woke being thrown around without any actual context. The Rings of Power show is incredibly woke. It's awful. It's dog shit. It is complete garbage. Not worth your time to watch. Indie devs need to struggle and fight and compete to succeed just like all the others, right? Yeah, I mean, the cartoon's good. I just don't remember much of it. They wanted the Silksong to be like 40 or 50 or even more just because they wanted to raise their own prices. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. Anything over 60 should be expected to be a fantastic game for a niche audience. I have no problem for a $300 game if it's made for a small audience. I want a game catered to me. Well, wouldn't that be Star Citizen or whatever? Whatever the name of that game is that isn't even done yet. Oh man. Strange they weren't concerned with Terraria's $10 price or Stardew Valley's $15. But nobody mentioned Valheim. Honestly, Valheim is probably done really well. And I say that as someone who's biased because I really love the game. But the game started off as $20 also. Phasmophobia, a game that was lightning in a bottle for a while, especially for streamers, was $20 at launch. And it was on sale when it first launched. Rimming for Power, oh my god. Store Citizen, yeah. Exactly. So the article isn't actually that unhinged. It says Silksong's priced at $20. It feels low for how long it's been in development and how big the franchise is. Team Cherry could have charged $30 or $40 for it and sold millions of copies because of how beloved the original Hollow Knights is, not to mention how much hype players had for Silksong since 2019. Still, it really costs only $20. The low price is making some people, including other indie developers, believe the game is so cheap that it'll hurt the pricing options of other indie titles. And here you go. Here's the original tweet. It's from Basti Art Games. Guy goes by the username Lone Fungus. He's a lone developer making a Metroidvania type game. So more power to him. This is not anything like no shame. Not saying this guy is a piece of crap or anything. He's going to have his opinion. I think it's a fair opinion to have. I just take issue with it. He says, as a dev making a smaller Metroidvania than Silksong, which I originally thought would be a fairly priced game at $20, what should I price it now? It'll be a 10 to 15 plus hour game, but it was made by one person with limited dev time and funds. I can't afford to give it away for free. I don't think anybody's asking him to give it away for free. And I saw that Shirako Gaming, I think is the channel, he did a complete start to finish playthrough of Silksong in 16 hours. So start to finish, his ass didn't leave his chair for 16 hours. Maybe he had like the bucket to piss in or something, right? But this guy now freaking out because his game's smaller than Silksong, saying that, you know, he's worried that whatever price he puts out his game, people are going to say it's overpriced. I don't know. I think that's kind of crazy. In fact, I want to take a look at his game real quick. Because again, no shade on the man. This is not something where I want to like throw shade at the guy. Like, again, I believe indie games are something that should be supported, you know? You know, unironically, I think that this game could have some decent... I think it could have, you know, a pretty broad appeal, to be honest. But the problem is that he might be making people angry with, again, his approach to the conversation about pricing. It's got a lot of different elements that I've seen in different games. It's pretty cool. I mean, he's kind of throwing a little bit of everything in here, you know? No, Ivernum, it doesn't appeal to me in a sense that I'm not going to go rush out and buy it. But I think it looks, for what it is, I think it looks good. There are plenty of games... Sorry, guys, it's super loud, I'm sorry. There are plenty of games where I don't see the necessarily, like, the appeal to me personally, but I can understand that other people would play it. I'll teach you Fung Fu. Again, it has a lot of different gameplay elements. Like I saw parrying, dodging, swing. I mean, there's a lot of different gameplay elements in there. I'm gonna throw it on my wish list because I want to keep an eye on it. It must be logged in. I'll look at it later. I won't play Silksong either, but I would buy the next Blasphemous without thinking. Hey, Ceratops over on Twitch. That stupid article about how Hollow Knight was only made by 3 devs is really doing damage to a lot of smaller devs. So, okay, fill me in. How many devs were actually involved? Because I've read 3. There are 3 main devs at Team Cherry. Legendary Drops on his video mentioned 7 total people working on the game. How many people actually worked on Hollow Knight? Because if it wasn't 3, then I can understand that it might be freaking people out. Remember, there was the conversation about Expedition 33. They had like 30 people working at the studio, but they did outsource to like 100 other people for different parts of the game, right? They contracted about 100 for Silksong. Okay, so it seems to me that tends to be the way that a lot of these indie developers go. is that they do have to reach outside of their own sphere, their own little core group there, and go get more help for different things. Employees aren't devs. That is also, that's fair, yes. Ooh, it got freaking warm today. I'm waiting for it to cool down, but dude, this Washington fall, like early fall, late summer, sucks ass, because one day it'll look cloudy and be rainy, but it'll be like 80 degrees outside. No worries, DB. Appreciate you, dude. 3 devs means 3 developers. Managers aren't developers. How is it doing damage to other indies? If one can budget their costs better to sell it cheaper, that's a good thing. So Ceratops on Twitch says, people don't want to think of contractors as part of the dev team, and it irks me that it becomes the main character discourse of the day. Getting hot and bothered. Just warm, not hot and bothered. Damn you, man. I understand what you're saying about it doing damage. I get that. Because it might create unreal expectations for a lot of people. A lot of teams, a lot of studios, a lot of developers. I could see it doing that. That is a fair fear to have. That being said, I think within the devs, like existing developers that, you know, are out there right now, Unreal Engine 4 expectations, yeah. I think people understand what it takes to make a game, at least if they've been developing for a while. And so if the layperson hears a buzzword and thinks, oh, that's so cool, it only took 5 people to make this game, when it actually took 50 or 100, I mean, yeah, that is dishonest and deceptive, but at the same time, is it going to have a massive impact? I don't know. It might. For people like us who are actually having a conversation about it, paying attention to it, it might impact the perception of value. Let's say this guy, this Lone Fungus guy, truly only has himself. And he never hires anybody, never brings anybody on. For example, Choo Choo Charles, a game that blew up a couple years ago. Choo Choo Charles, fantastic indie game made by one guy over at, can't remember the name of the studio. But he did hire other people for voice acting. He hired some other people for a little bit of help here and there. So it wasn't just him, but he was the only developer. So technically, he was still the only developer working on the game. He just had to hire other people for other pieces of it that he couldn't do himself. So we buy the game. We don't care what it had to go through as long as the product is good. Again, not everybody needs to know how the sausage is made, you know? I'm the only person in my company, but like hell, if you're going to tell me that people I contract are not part of the dev team. And you know, I think that that's a fair way to look at it. So for example, okay, I'm self-employed, right? Doesn't get pretty windy here. Dude, Washington Fall is terrible, man. It's the worst. We're over here. It's muggy as hell. It's miserable. So I am literally, I have no employees. I do all my work myself. It's a family business I've taken on. My mom, she's trying to retire. My wife, occasionally she'll come help me. My mom will still come help me, but I don't have any paid employees. It's like, it's just me. So at the end of the day, do I consider myself a single sole proprietor, you know, business where I'm doing all the work? Yeah, that doesn't mean that I don't occasionally have help with, you know, working on it with me, but I am truly a one-person company. So yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's really fair. And it might, for some people, create a false perception of what one person can do versus 10 people can do versus 100 people can do. Are the people delivering my shipments part of my company? No, they're contractors. I call my trucking company that picks up my pallets in California, and he brings me the pallet. You know, yeah, he's not my employee. So again, it creates an interesting dynamic of what people perceive one person doing versus 10 versus 100, and how many of them have it like it also depends on the level of contribution. I would say there is a certain aspect to that where it's like one person's contribution as a contractor might be greater than another contractor's, but are either one of them as great as the lead developer on the game? Probably not, you know. Single sole proprietor, master of the world, not so much. Not so much at all. All right, so Silksong is being review bombed now apparently as well, because why not? We can't have good things. So apparently the game is also being review bombed by Chinese players. Players are citing the overly poetic, unclear Chinese translation as a key issue for the game, reducing accessibility and immersion. See, that would suck. I have played games that were made by like Korean developers back in the day on my original Xbox, or Which Xbox did Kingdom Under Fire come out on? Because Kingdom Under Fire, that game slapped. As far as like real-time combat and big battles with armies and stuff, that game was awesome. Hilarious and awesome. I don't know about awesome, but maybe hilarious. Funny looking. Did you see that Steam has segregated reviews by language? That's to prevent review bombing. Yeah, so actually, if you look at the reviews themselves, they do have the simplified Chinese separated from the rest of them because you've got all the different languages accessible on there. So in English, it's overwhelmingly positive, but among simplified Chinese, it's mixed. But I remember that for Kingdom Under Fire, because I think it was a Korean company that made the game, there were whole chunks where there were words that just were blanked out in English because they didn't know the actual English word for it, where there was lines of dialogue that were screwed up, where the subtitles were screwed up, where nothing made sense. I think they're all Russian bots. Oh no, there's Chinese players. Come on. The contractors also own their own business. Does Dan's pallet guy consider Dan as part of their company? No, I'm a customer, Did they finally just kill Bloodlines 2? No, they're basically they're issuing refunds for all the pre-orders. They are going to revamp and rework their entire strategy about like the whole paywalled, clans and stuff. And then the game is going to be released, I think, October 23rd. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, so yes, that's what I'm hearing. We'll see. I don't think they're going to pull the plug on the game, but it is going to be interesting to see the reaction because, I mean, didn't Borderlands come out today? I was seeing stuff about the actual release time. I'm curious about that one because I would have sworn that Borderlands 4 had so much negative press that nobody would be playing that game, but I've been seeing a lot of positive hype, a lot of like what seems like natural, organic hype on social media. I'm like, for this game, really? What? Yeah, so Patriot, they put out a statement. I've still got it brought up here. Where are we at? I didn't close any of my tabs. Oh man, where did that go? Maybe I did. Oh, here we go. Yeah. They put out this tweet earlier today. We're making adjustments and we'll share the details on September 17th. Big changes take time. We want to do this right. PlayStation pre-orders will be refunded on September 8th. You'll be able to pre-order again before launch on October 21st. Thanks for your patience. We'll share more soon. So basically, they're just going to have to revamp however they're going to release the game. No details as far as what that looks like yet. Traditional Chinese seems to have positive reviews. Oh, interesting. Speaking of warm temperature, portable floor fan, 3 speeds, air circulation. So the thing is, I have my back door shut and my fan turned off so that it's not blowing on the microphone and so I don't have dogs barking outside. Once I get moved, I know I keep talking about moving, a couple months. Hopefully by the end of October, I'll be in a different place. We are desperately looking for a place that's also going to have an office because I need an office. I need my own space, Once that happens, hopefully I can actually better segregate myself into a room that has better airflow and a little bit more privacy so I don't have like my kids getting up to go pee in the middle of my stream. Smeg with the gifted memberships, dude. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. I blew screen when I saw 42,000 languages. I was like, what the F, man? I'm a damn hillbilly. Yeah. Telling people that they can pre-order again, it's like, oh yeah, you can still give us your money. Don't worry. Yeah, no, we're gonna move eventually. The self-employed thing. That's it. That's the only thing holding me back is I need to get all of my paperwork done to show enough income and prove to them that I actually make money and all these other things. So it's a hassle. Moving right now sucks. No. It's just I'm in the living room, and so their room is right there. So if they have to get up to go down the hallway to pee, it's like I hear a door, and I'm like, okay, who's up? Somebody throw up, somebody sick or whatever. It's just creates paranoia. It's all. All right, so Smash JT says breaking Silksong reviews are tanking in China because of poorly translated version of the game. Genuinely feel for Team Cherry on this one because there wasn't any kind of realistic way for them to know the language would come across so badly. I mean, yeah, when you have a small team, that's unfortunately going to be kind of the nature of how these things go. Now they're getting hammered in the review scores for something outside of the core gameplay itself. I mean, but again, translations are still part of the gameplay. It's still part of the game experience. So Matthew Griffin over there from Team Cherry says, to our Chinese-speaking fans, we appreciate you letting us know about the quality issues. Simplified Chinese translation of Hollow Knight Silksong. We'll be working to improve the translation over the coming weeks. Thanks for your feedback. I don't know how many of these copies of the game even sold in China, to be honest. I don't know that that was a massive part of the sales of the game. But this one, again, for anybody who thinks I'm racist already, I thought this one was hilarious. 13.8 hours last 2 weeks. Obviously not from Silksong. He Ching Winshud Chong. Bad game. Actually, maybe this is from Silksong. I don't know. Could have saved themselves a headache and just released it in English. It's the universal language of the world. Learn the language of your betters. Man, I'd like to say that's true, but unfortunately it's not. This is absolutely hilarious. He Ching Winshud Chong. Bad game. Yeah, I enjoy this shit too much. All right, but since it's getting late, I'm going to leave off with everyone's favorite streamer, everyone's favorite video game god, Dr. Phil, struggling with, I guess, the tutorial boss on Hollow Knight. So, people are weird. I mean, dude, honestly, it's one of those things. People are going to say weird shit, especially on Steam. You call him Dr. Jones, doll. She moved to Canada. Police chief says the best defense to a home invasion is to comply with the criminals. Oh my god, dude, I've seen that. I'm like, yeah, don't let me go grab one of my, several firearms in several calibers that I own just feet from my bed and take care of the intruder. Oh no, I'm gonna comply. All right, drop of water. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging. Appreciate you. It's nice that there's a fellow Washingtonian in the chat that isn't crazy. All right, but yes, we've got DSP AI bots to help me move. Yeah, I'm sure that there's a thing, right? Don't grab your P90X. No. Everything I've got Smith & Wesson. So well, that's not true. My 6-shooter is not Smith & Wesson, but my semi-autos, both my pistols are Smith & Wessons. And then one of my ARs was a Smith & Wesson that I modified. The other AR was one that I built from scratch. Building a trigger from scratch is a fun thing. And then last year I picked up a 20 gauge. Oh, that's right. I've also got the Ruger in 22 LR. So I've got a few. I think DSP is just acting at this point. Yeah, I don't have a P90. I don't have a Glock. I don't have a Beretta. I don't have... Who was the one? What was the brand that was going off on its own 6-hour? Don't grab your AR-300 pistol with a fully super semi-auto. Oh, P90. I thought you were talking about... God. There's a manufacturer that's got a model close to that. Sad thing is, he isn't. This has been his life for over a decade. P320 SIG. Is that what I was thinking of? I don't know. Yeah, P90X. Wasn't that back in the 90s, man? That was the thing that you put in your... Isn't that the one that you put in your doorway and you can do multiple exercises on it? AR-15. Yes, that big, super scary AR-15. I made sure to buy all my 30-round mags before the estate banned them. Then they banned the 10-round mags also. Wait, no, can we... That's right, because they banned buying and building an AR. So basically, I can't buy anything. I can still probably buy a scope for my AR. But pretty much everything else, all the fun stuff's gone. So... All right, so... home workout program created by Tony Horton and Beachbody was first released in 2005. Wow. Well, that's still 20 years ago. It's all about moving fast. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. DSP.
What do we have here? Oh, crud. Oh, what did I do? The boss.
Wait. We need full screen for this. This is just not cutting it. All right. Let's start over. In fact, I'm going to hide myself. Give him the full camera.
What do we have here? Oh, crud. Oh, what did I do? The boss mother. I just want to tell. Fine. Who's that? I don't know what happened. Damn it. I have no idea what what's going on. He said bind, but I don't know what that is.
Oh my god. It's a stupid game. I didn't do anything wrong, DSP, in every game. There's a point you'd think he'd go away out of the shame. No, dude, he's a cockroach, man. He's a cockroach. He's just... The crazy thing is that he's again, a fellow Washingtonian, and I've never run into him. Like, if I ever bumped into him, it purely was coincidental, and I don't remember it, and I probably didn't know who he was at the time. But, like, between him and Pirate Software... I'm surprised. I mean, neither one of them probably leaves their house because I've never seen either one of them in the wild, and I've been in Washington for 30 plus years. So absolutely crazy at this point. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of a nice little teaser for myself because I'm not as bad as DSP. Like, there's some games I struggle with a little bit more than I should, especially puzzle games. But I don't think I'm going to be this bad. I might actually stream the game tomorrow. I haven't decided yet if I want to stream tomorrow night. My wife might tell me not to. She might want me to just kind of chill. But DSP, one caught wanking on stream. I mean, Nick Ricada did that, but he was also heavily intoxicated. DSP is the one. Yes. Yes, he didn't get his camera covered or turned off, and you could kind of tell what he was doing. Or yeah, it was one of those. The guy's, like I said, he's truly a human cockroach at this point. I don't even know how he gets through his days without being, like, completely embarrassed. But at this point, it's like... I mean, he's not going anywhere. Let's be honest. The money's too good, you know? Although, at last I heard, he had like $20,000 in debt or something. The camera was on the whole time. Pirate streams the entire day almost, so he doesn't leave. Well, that would make sense. He was homeless for a while. He might have met him once or twice. Oh my god, I can't even imagine. Yo, I'm gonna go raid Words of Paradise. You guys can hang for the raid or not. I should have had this set up beforehand. I didn't realize he'd still be on right now. DSP has serious problems with low IQ gaming. I mean, he doesn't seem to be a high IQ person, so that would make sense. All right, I'm gonna set this up to go over to Words of Paradise here in a second. So where the hell do I find that at? Redirect. Oh my god. I think I've done this once or twice. Maybe 3 times. That's what she said. Oh my god, where is he? Leon, you bastard, I can't find you, man. Alright, there we go. Alright. Hit save. Done. Yeah, man, Adam, we'll see. We will see if I have time. I really just need to get back into a better habit of making videos on a regular basis, even if I don't love how it turns out, even if I don't love the topic, even if I don't love anything about what I put out. I just need to go ahead and hit send, because I have so many, like, second thoughts and second guess myself so many times. I've had 3 different videos lined up to do, didn't get them done, too tired, too mentally fried. By the time I sat down to record them, I had tons of issues, and I just couldn't get it done. So I need to get into a better place mentally before I can get back into a regular rhythm. But I'm working there. I'm getting towards that direction. We'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you all for the love. Thank you all for hanging out. If he's Leona, I'm going to fly to the U.S. No, I thought he told me, he said he retired Leona. I'm pretty sure he's done. Let's find out. I'm going to